There comes a moment in life when the unseen hand of God begins to move in ways that are beyond human comprehension. When the divine is preparing to bless you with something greater than you have ever known, the signs will not be written in the sky, nor will they be announced with thunder. Instead, they will whisper to you in the depths of your being, calling you to recognize the shift that is unfolding. The first sign is a deep inner stirring, a knowing without evidence. It is as if your soul is awakening from a long sleep, sensing that something extraordinary is on the horizon. You may not be able to explain it, but within you there is a quiet assurance that a transformation is near. The world around you may look the same, but your perception of it begins to change, and you start feeling an unusual sense of expectation. Then you will notice doors closing. Opportunities you once relied on may suddenly vanish. People who once walked beside you may distance themselves. Do not mistake this for loss. It is a divine redirection. When God is preparing to give you something bigger, He clears the path of everything that no longer serves your destiny. What seems like rejection is in truth protection, for you are being led towards something that aligns with the highest version of yourself. A sense of isolation may come next. You might feel as if you are walking this path alone, misunderstood by those around you. But understand this: solitude is a sacred space where God refines you, where He strips away distractions so that you may hear His voice clearly. In the silence, revelation comes. You begin to see with spiritual eyes, no longer bound by appearances, but guided by faith. There will be trials, tests of endurance and patience. These are not obstacles to deter you, but lessons to prepare you. Before elevation, there is always transformation. You are being shaped, molded, strengthened for what is to come. Trust that every challenge is a step toward your breakthrough, and know that no test is given without the grace to overcome it. Unusual synchronicities will begin to appear. Signs and symbols will align in ways too perfect to be coincidence. A word spoken by a stranger, a dream that stirs your heart, a repeated message appearing in unexpected places. All of these are whispers from the divine, assuring you that you are on the right path. Pay attention, for the universe speaks in a language of signs. A deep peace will settle over you, even in uncertainty, even when nothing in the external world confirms what you feel inside. You will experience a quiet confidence. This peace is the ultimate sign that what is meant for you is already unfolding. It is not based on circumstances, but on an unshakable trust that God is at work. And then, just when you least expect it, the breakthrough will come. It will not come through force, nor through struggle, but as a natural unfolding of what was always meant to be. When you are aligned with divine will, nothing can stand in the way of what is destined for you. There is a divine orchestration that cannot be rushed, a timing that is beyond human understanding. When God is about to bless you with something beyond your imagination, He first prepares you to receive it. He does not place something grand into hands that are not yet ready to hold it. So He begins His work in the quiet places of your heart, shifting your thoughts, breaking your old limitations, and awakening a new consciousness within you. You may find yourself questioning everything you once believed. The old ways of thinking no longer satisfy you. The things you once chased after seem unimportant. A hunger for something more begins to grow within you, and though you may not know exactly what it is, you cannot ignore the pull. This is the divine call to expand, to step beyond the self you have known, for you cannot receive a new reality while holding on to an old identity. Then comes the breaking away. The things that once felt secure begin to crumble. Friendships, habits, environments, even careers may suddenly shift. You may feel as if you are losing everything familiar, but this is not destruction, it is divine reconstruction. God does not take away to leave you empty. He removes so that He may fill you with something greater. He pulls away everything that no longer aligns with your highest good. What was once a comfort zone begins to feel restrictive, and you realize you can no longer stay where you are. This is when fear tries to creep in. The mind, conditioned by years of limitation, will resist change. It will whisper doubts, make you question the path, urge you to turn back to what is familiar. But you cannot go back. Once the divine hand has touched your life, once you have been awakened to a higher reality, the old world loses its power over you. You may try to return, but you will find that you no longer fit. The people around you may not understand. They may call you foolish, tell you that you are making a mistake, but their words will not shake you, because deep inside you know the truth. You are being called to something greater. At first, nothing may seem to be happening. Days, weeks, even months may pass, and you will wonder if you were mistaken. The vision God placed in your heart seems distant, and the evidence of its arrival is nowhere to be found. This is where faith is tested. Will you trust in what you cannot yet see? Will you hold on to the knowing even when everything in the physical world tells you otherwise? Those who surrender in this moment, who give up because they see no movement, miss the blessing that was already forming. But those who persist, who continue to believe, will soon witness the manifestation of what was promised. And then suddenly the first signs will appear. A door that seemed forever closed will open. A connection will be made, an opportunity will come, seemingly out of nowhere. But it was never out of nowhere. It was always there, waiting for you to align with it. The divine does not rush, he prepares. And when the time is right, the shift will happen so effortlessly that you will marvel at how it all came together. You will look back and understand why things happened the way they did. The disappointments, the closed doors, the delays, all of it was leading you to this moment. The struggle was never to break you, it was to shape you. The waiting was never a punishment, it was a refinement. What is truly meant for you will never be withheld, but you must be ready to receive it. And so, when you sense that something big is coming, trust the process. Trust the preparation, trust the divine order that is working on your behalf. The signs will be there, not always in flashing lights, but in the stillness of your heart, in the shifting of your spirit, in the unfolding of events that seem too perfect to be coincidence. God does not plant dreams in your heart without the intention to bring them to life. If you have felt the calling, if you have sensed the shift, if you have seen the signs, then know this: what is coming is far greater than what you are leaving behind. There will be days when your faith is tested, when doubts creep in, when circumstances seem unchanged. But remember, the unseen is always at work before the seen takes form. The moment you desire something in your heart, the universe begins moving to bring it to you. The delay is not denial, it is a divine process ensuring that everything falls into place at the right time. You may notice that your intuition becomes sharper. You feel nudges, whispers, guiding you toward new choices. The same places and conversations that once seemed normal may begin to feel off, as if you no longer belong in them. You will be drawn to new ideas, books, messages, and even people who align with the vision that is unfolding within you. You may start waking up in the middle of the night, feeling an unshakable energy, as if something is being downloaded into your spirit. Pay attention, for these are not accidents. They are divine signals, preparing you for what is to come. There is a shedding that must take place. The old version of you cannot walk into the new reality that God has prepared. The doubts, the fears, the limiting beliefs must be released. The way you spoke, the way you thought, the way you carried yourself, if these things no longer align with the higher version of you, they must go. This is why discomfort comes before the blessing. This is why everything seems to be shaken before the breakthrough happens. The shaking is necessary. It is stripping away everything that does not serve your next level. You may feel exhausted, as if something within you is changing on a deep level. You may experience moments of loneliness, even sadness, because transformation is not always comfortable. The people who once fit in your life may start drifting away. The conversations that once interested you may now feel meaningless. Do not resist this process. Embrace it. What is meant for you cannot miss you, and what is leaving you was never meant to stay. The greatest sign that something big is coming is the deep peace that settles within you, even when the circumstances have not changed. This is the moment when you know, not because you see it, but because you feel it. You no longer look outside for validation. You do not ask others if they believe in your vision. You simply know. And this knowing is the evidence that your manifestation is near. It will not come through force. It will not require you to chase or struggle. It will flow to you effortlessly at the appointed time. And when it does, you will realize that it was never about just receiving something external. It was about becoming the person who was ready to hold it. The real blessing was not the thing itself, but the transformation that took place within you. Because once you have become that person, once you have stepped into that awareness, you will never again doubt the power of what is within you. You will never again wonder if God is listening. You will know that He was always there, always guiding, always preparing you for what was already yours. And when you finally step into the blessing, when you receive what was always meant for you, something even greater happens. You no longer see yourself as separate from it. You no longer question if you deserve it. You no longer fear that it will be taken away, because by the time it arrives, you have already become one with it in your mind. It was never outside of you, it was always within, waiting for you to recognize it as yours. The struggle was never about achieving something external. It was about awakening to the truth of who you are. You will notice that your fears have faded. The worries that once consumed you now seem distant, as if they belonged to someone else. The weight that you carried for so long is gone. And in its place is a lightness, a knowing, a quiet certainty that no storm can shake. It is not arrogance, it is alignment. It is not wishful thinking, it is divine authority. You have stepped into the awareness that nothing outside of you has power over your destiny. You are not waiting on circumstances to change, you are the one who changes. And then the circumstances must follow. The people around you will sense it. Some will be drawn to your presence without understanding why. Others may resist, feeling the shift, but not yet ready to step into their own. Do not take this personally. Your journey is not to convince others. It is to become the living proof of what is possible. You are not here to explain how it happened. You are here to embody it. And when they are ready, they too will begin to awaken, inspired by the light that you now carry. At first it may seem so real. You will look at the life unfolding before you, the opportunities aligning, the doors swinging open, and you will remember the days when it all felt impossible. The moments when you almost gave up, the nights you cried out for a sign, the times you questioned if God had forgotten you. All of it will make sense. The waiting was not wasted. The struggles were not in vain. Every lesson, every hardship, every closed door was necessary, because without them you would not have become the person who now stands in this reality. You will see that the delays were not punishments, they were divine protection. The things you once begged for, the things you thought you needed, you will realize they were never meant for you. And you will be grateful that they did not come when you asked, because now you understand. They would have been too small for the person you have become. What God had planned was far greater than what you had envisioned. There is a sacred humility that comes with this awareness. You do not take credit for the unfolding, yet you do not shrink from it either. You walk in it with gratitude, with confidence, with the quiet understanding that you were chosen for this. Not because you were more deserving than others, but because you were willing. Willing to trust when there was no evidence, willing to let go when it felt like loss, willing to believe even when everything in the physical world told you otherwise. And so the cycle continues. Just as you were called, just as you were prepared, just as you were tested, so too will others walk this path. And when they come to you seeking understanding, when they ask how you knew, how you held on, how you made it through, you will smile. Because you will remember what it felt like to be in their shoes, standing on the edge of the unknown, searching for a sign. And you will tell them what you now know to be true, that the signs were always there, that the promise was always theirs, and that the greatest manifestation is not the thing itself. It is the transformation that happens within. There will be more mountains to climb, more seasons of growth, more moments where you are called to expand again. But this time, you will not fear them, you will not resist, because now you know that every ending is a beginning, every loss is a preparation, every challenge is an invitation to step into something greater. The process does not stop, it evolves, and so do you. You are no longer the person who waits in doubt, you are the person who walks in faith. You are no longer asking when the blessing will come, you are living as if it is already here. And that is the final sign, the one that cannot be faked, the one that cannot be rushed. When you no longer chase, when you no longer beg, when you no longer question, when you simply know, then and only then does the manifestation arrive. Not because you forced it, but because you became it. And in that moment, you will understand that you were never waiting on God, He was always waiting on you. And as you step deeper into this new phase, you will encounter even more signs, more synchronicities, that confirm you are exactly where you need to be. The whispers of the universe become louder, and the signs of divine favor appear in ways that leave no room for doubt. It will no longer be a matter of if, but a matter of when. You will find that everything is falling into place so naturally, so effortlessly, that the only explanation is divine timing. Every little action you take, every word you speak, every step you make will feel aligned with your purpose. It will feel as if you're not even trying anymore. Everything flows with ease. The things that once felt like obstacles now feel like opportunities. You will begin to see the world through different eyes, recognizing that the divine is not outside of you, but it moves through you, shaping your experiences, transforming your reality in ways that you could never have imagined. What once appeared as a challenge is now understood as the universe's way of positioning you for the next great thing. This is where the true transformation occurs. As you stand in the fullness of your blessing, you no longer look at yourself as someone who is waiting to receive something. You see yourself as the one who is already living in the manifestation, already walking in the truth of your desires. You become the embodiment of the very thing you sought for so long. You start to realize that the gap between where you were and where you are now was not a time of waiting, but a time of becoming. In this process of becoming, you are also changing the energy around you. People will notice the shift in your vibration, the new aura of peace and confidence that you exude. Your presence will become magnetic. The energy of abundance and possibility that surrounds you will draw in the right opportunities and the right people. You will start attracting experiences that resonate with the highest version of yourself. And with each new experience, your reality will reflect more and more of the life you have been envisioning. But even as you experience this, there will be moments of uncertainty. Even though everything in your life is moving in the right direction, there will be moments where doubt tries to creep in. These are the moments when your faith will be tested. These moments are not meant to break you, they are meant to strengthen you. You will learn to trust the divine process, even when the evidence isn't visible. This is where the unseen becomes more important than the seen. This is where you truly begin to walk by faith and not by sight. What you must remember in these moments of doubt is that your journey is not linear. There are seasons in life where things will feel slower, where progress seems hidden, but this is merely the space where the seeds you've planted are growing beneath the surface. And just as the seed must first break apart and be buried in the soil before it can grow, so too must you go through periods of growth that are not immediately visible to the eye. The quiet moments of uncertainty are the very moments when everything is aligning perfectly behind the scenes. The signs you are receiving, the messages and intuitions, are not random. They are divine confirmations that you are on the right path. As you stay present, as you stay aligned with the vision that has been placed in your heart, you will begin to notice how the universe begins to work in your favor. Opportunities will seem to find you effortlessly. Relationships that support your growth will appear. Things that were once out of reach will become accessible. This is how you know that something big is on its way. And it's not just the external world that is changing, it is you. You are the one who is shifting into alignment with the abundance that is already yours. Even in those moments when you feel that the manifestation is taking longer than you anticipated, trust in the perfection of divine timing. Nothing happens by accident. Nothing happens outside of the divine order. What is meant for you cannot be delayed, and what is not meant for you will be removed. Trust that everything is unfolding in perfect timing and you are exactly where you need to be. The only thing required of you is to continue believing, continue trusting, and continue walking as if everything you desire is already yours. The signs of a blessing on the way are not always dramatic or grandiose. Sometimes they are subtle shifts in your consciousness. A thought you've had many times suddenly lands in a new way. A person you've known for years suddenly says something that resonates with you in a deep way. A circumstance you've been waiting for takes an unexpected turn, and suddenly things make sense. These signs are not always big, but they are powerful. They speak to your heart, not your eyes. They remind you that the work you've done, the growth you've experienced, is leading you to exactly where you are meant to be. As you look forward to what is to come, let go of any remaining attachment to how things should unfold. Release the need for control, surrender your plans, your expectations, and allow the divine to guide you. Trust that what is coming will be far greater than anything you could have ever imagined. You have been prepared for this moment, and you are more than ready to receive it. And when it arrives, when you finally witness the manifestation of what you've been waiting for, remember that this is not the end, it is only the beginning of a new chapter. What God has in store for you will continue to expand, continue to unfold, and you will continue to grow into the person who is ready to receive even greater blessings. This is how the divine works, always elevating, always expanding, always creating new levels of possibility. But even before that moment of arrival, you will know deep within you that it is already on its way. You will feel it in the air. You will see the signs, no matter how subtle they may be. And you will know that the blessing is not something coming to you from the outside, but something awakening from within. You have already called it forth. You have already aligned with it. And now it is coming to meet you where you are. This is the power of faith, the power of believing before seeing, the power of knowing that the divine is always working in your favor, always leading you toward your highest good. The signs are not for you to question, they are for you to trust. They are not meant to show you that your dreams will come true, they are meant to remind you that your dreams are already on their way. So when you see the signs, trust them. Trust that they are a confirmation of what is already unfolding. Trust that you are on the right path. Trust that God is always with you, always guiding you, always leading you toward the next step. And trust that when the time is right, what is meant for you will come, effortlessly, perfectly, and in the most divine way imaginable. The only thing you need to do is stay aligned, stay faithful, and continue to walk as if everything you've ever wanted is already yours. In the moments leading up to the manifestation of what you've been desiring, you will begin to feel an undeniable sense of anticipation in the air, as though everything is on the verge of something big. Even when the world around you remains quiet, you will sense that there is a shift occurring, a shift that only those who are aware, those who are attuned to the signs, will feel. This quiet anticipation is the subtle yet profound confirmation that God is working in your life. It is not a time to doubt, but a time to trust and hold steadfast to the vision that has been planted in your heart. During this period of transition, you will also notice that your thoughts and emotions are becoming more elevated. You may experience moments of pure inspiration and clarity. Ideas that once seemed impossible now seem not only possible, but inevitable. This is a sign that you are tapping into a higher frequency of awareness. You are no longer limited by the constraints of the physical world. You are beginning to operate in the realm of divine possibility. You may also feel an overwhelming sense of peace, as though you are at one with the flow of life. The worries and anxieties that once plagued you seem to dissipate. You no longer feel the need to rush or force things to happen. You have released the need to control the outcome, because you now trust that it is already on its way. You trust that the universe is bringing you exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. In this space of peace, you will begin to see that the manifestation you've been waiting for is not an external event, but an internal one. It is an expansion of consciousness. It is the realization that you are already worthy of everything you desire. You are already aligned with the abundance, the love, the success, the happiness that you seek. What you've been waiting for has always been within you, and now, as you have grown and transformed, it is simply a matter of time before it becomes your physical reality. You will also notice that the world around you is starting to mirror your internal transformation. The people in your life will begin to reflect your new energy. Those who have supported your journey will become even more present and aligned with you. They will offer you the help, encouragement, and opportunities you need to move forward. And those who are not aligned with your new path may begin to fade away, not because of anything you've done, but because they no longer resonate with the person you have become. This is not a time to hold on to what no longer serves you. It is a time to release, to let go of attachments, to make space for the new blessings that are on their way. The old must make room for the new, and this process of release can sometimes be challenging. But understand that the things, people, and situations that no longer align with your highest good are being removed not as a punishment, but as an act of divine love. It is God clearing the path for you, making space for the blessings that are waiting to enter your life. The more you let go, the more you will feel a sense of lightness. The weight of the past, the weight of your doubts, the weight of your fears will begin to lift, and in its place will be a sense of freedom. The freedom to step fully into your purpose, the freedom to embrace the vision of who you are becoming. This is when you will feel the power of your own divine nature more profoundly than ever before. You will realize that you have always been in control of your reality, and now, with this awareness, you can consciously choose the experiences that align with your highest desires. As the manifestation draws nearer, you may also notice that your inner dialogue is shifting. The negative self-talk, the limiting beliefs, the doubts that once held you back are starting to lose their grip on you. You will catch yourself speaking in ways that are more empowering, more positive, more affirming of your worth. You will catch yourself visualizing the life you desire as if it is already here. You will no longer be speaking in terms of I hope or I wish or I want. You will begin to speak in terms of I am, I have, I know. This shift in language is powerful because it reflects a shift in your consciousness. You are no longer asking for permission. You are claiming what is rightfully yours. In this place of alignment, you will begin to notice the synchronicities that surround you. They may show up in the form of a song that speaks directly to your situation, a conversation with a stranger that offers the exact insight you need, or a series of seemingly random events that come together in perfect harmony. These synchronicities are God's way of reminding you that you are on the right path. They are signs that you are not alone, that you are being guided every step of the way. And as you notice these synchronicities, you will begin to trust more deeply in the divine plan that is unfolding in your life. The more you trust, the more the universe will confirm your trust with blessings, opportunities, and experiences that reinforce your belief in the unseen. It will become clear that what you once saw as coincidences were never coincidences at all. They were divine interventions, guiding you towards the life you've always dreamed of. As you continue to walk this path, you will realize that what you've been waiting for was never a destination but a journey. The manifestation, the blessing, the abundance that you've been seeking, these are not just the end result, they are part of the ongoing process of your growth, your transformation, your becoming. Every step you take along the way brings you closer to the fullest version of yourself, and as you evolve, so does the manifestation. The more you grow, the more you align with your true purpose, the more your desires manifest in ways that feel effortless and natural. This process of growth is ongoing. Just as the seed continues to grow, sprout, and reach for the sun, so too will your life continue to unfold in perfect divine timing. What you experience today is only a glimpse of the infinite possibilities that are ahead of you. The moment you think you've reached your fullest potential, you will find that there is always another level, another opportunity, another manifestation awaiting you. And even as the manifestation arrives, as the blessing pours into your life, it is essential to remember that this is not the end. It is just the beginning of a new chapter, a new season of growth, abundance, and transformation. There will always be more to come. What God has in store for you is infinite. And as you continue to live in alignment with your true self, as you continue to trust in the divine process, you will begin to see that the signs, the synchronicities, the manifestations, they were always leading you to this moment. The moment when you would realize that everything you have been through, everything you have experienced, has been preparing you for this. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and everything that is meant for you is already on its way. You will come to realize that the universe has always been on your side. Every challenge, every obstacle, every difficult moment was not a punishment, but a purposeful step in your evolution. When things did not go as you had planned, it was simply life redirecting you toward a path that was more aligned with your true desires. The disappointment you once felt was merely a misunderstanding. What seemed like a loss was actually an invitation for something greater. In the moment of hardship, you may have wondered why things weren't working out, but as you look back, you will understand that those setbacks were simply preparing you for the divine appointment that awaited you. The truth is, everything in your life has been preparing you for this moment, and you have been more than ready. You may have doubted yourself, questioned your worthiness, or even wondered if the dreams you've been holding on to were too big. But now, as you reflect on the journey, you realize that there was no need to question. All of those signs, all of those moments of divine guidance were meant to show you that your dreams were always meant for you. Now, as you stand on the precipice of this new chapter, it will feel like the universe itself is conspiring to help you succeed. Opportunities will start to present themselves in ways you could never have predicted. They will come from unexpected sources, but they will come. You may even experience moments of synchronicity where things fall into place effortlessly. The right people will enter your life at exactly the right time. The resources you need will appear just when you need them. This is not coincidence, this is divine timing. And as these things unfold, you will feel the truth in your heart that you are exactly where you are supposed to be. In moments of doubt or fear, return to the knowing that you have been led here. You are not alone. The universe is moving in perfect alignment with your desires. Trust that you are being guided every step of the way, even when you cannot see the full picture. The path ahead will become clearer with each step, and in time you will see that everything that has happened up to this point was part of a larger divine plan, a plan that only God could have orchestrated. You will also find that as you embrace this new reality, you begin to step into your true power. The fear, the uncertainty, the limitations that once held you back will fall away. In their place, you will feel a newfound confidence, one that comes not from external validation, but from an inner knowing that you are more than capable of handling everything that comes your way. You will recognize that you are the creator of your own reality. What you have been waiting for, what you have been dreaming of, has always been within you. You were born for this. You were born to receive your blessings. And as you step into this new chapter, you will notice a shift, not just in your external world, but in your inner world as well. Your relationship with yourself will deepen. You will begin to love and accept yourself in ways you never thought possible. The parts of you that were once hidden, that you were afraid to show, will now come into the light. You will no longer feel the need to hide or shrink yourself in the presence of others. You will stand tall in the fullness of who you are, embracing every aspect of your being. This love for yourself is not about arrogance or pride. It is about recognizing your inherent worth. It is about understanding that you were always worthy of the blessings that are now coming to you. And as you fully accept this truth, you will find that your life begins to reflect this newfound sense of self-love. You will attract people, experiences, and opportunities that align with the highest version of who you are. This is the law of attraction in its purest form. When you love yourself and know your worth, the universe reflects that back to you. As you continue to align yourself with the truth of who you are, You will also begin to notice that you are no longer seeking validation or approval from others. You no longer feel the need to prove yourself. You simply show up as you are, knowing that you are enough. This inner knowing will free you in ways you never imagined. You will no longer feel the need to chase after things or people to feel complete. You are already complete. You are already whole. In fact, the more you embrace this sense of completeness, the more you will attract everything you've ever wanted. The universe operates in cycles of abundance. The more you align with your true self, the more the universe aligns with you. Opportunities will flow effortlessly into your life. The relationships you desire will blossom. Financial abundance will begin to manifest in ways you never imagined. Your health will improve and your confidence will soar. This is the flow of divine abundance, and once you tap into it, it becomes a constant, unbroken stream in your life. But it is important to remember that this process of manifestation is not about forcing or striving. It is not about controlling or manipulating the universe. It is about surrendering to the flow. It is about trusting that what is meant for you will come at the perfect time. You do not need to chase after it. You do not need to make it happen. All you need to do is align yourself with the truth of who you are, and the universe will respond. The manifestation of your desires is not just about receiving the material things you want. It is also about the internal transformation that happens along the way. You are becoming more and more aligned with your true purpose. And as you step into this alignment, you will find that everything in your life begins to change. Your career, your relationships, your health, and your finances will all shift in ways that reflect the deeper work you've done. The external world is simply a reflection of your internal world. As you evolve internally, so too will your outer reality. And as you continue on this journey, you will realize that the manifestation of your desires is not a destination. It is a continuous process of growth, expansion, and alignment. The moment you think you have arrived, you will discover that there is always another level of evolution awaiting you. This is the beauty of the spiritual journey. There is always more to discover, more to learn, more to become. Each step along the way is a step toward greater self-realization and greater alignment with your divine purpose. And with each step, you will find that the signs you are receiving grow clearer and clearer. The synchronicities become more frequent. The divine guidance becomes more apparent. And you will find that your desires are not far off. They are already in motion, already on their way. You are simply witnessing the unfolding of what has already been set in motion. So as you move forward, trust the signs, trust the process, trust that what you have been waiting for is already on its way. You are aligned with the universe, you are aligned with your highest self, and you are now walking in the fullness of your divine purpose. Every step you take brings you closer to your dreams, closer to your true power, and closer to the manifestation of everything you've ever desired. Trust that it is all unfolding perfectly, and trust that you are exactly where you need to be. As you continue to walk the path toward your desires, you will notice that you no longer feel the need to force things to happen. There is a quiet confidence that begins to take root within you. The days of pushing and striving are over. The struggle no longer holds power over you. You have come to realize that the key to receiving your blessings is not in the effort, but in the surrender. You surrender to the flow of life. You surrender to the natural unfolding of your desires. You surrender to divine timing. In this surrender, you find peace. The anxious thoughts that once plagued you begin to dissipate. No longer do you wake up each morning wondering if today is the day everything will fall into place. Instead, you wake up with a sense of calm, knowing that your desires are already on their way. You are not waiting for something to happen. You are witnessing the process of manifestation. You are no longer attached to the outcome, but rather you are enjoying the journey. You begin to understand that the universe operates in perfect order. There is a rhythm, a flow, a divine timing that governs all things. What is meant for you will come to you at the perfect moment. You no longer need to rush. You no longer need to chase after your dreams. The moment you release the need to control the process, everything begins to fall into place. This is when the magic truly happens. When you let go of your expectations, you open yourself up to receiving more than you could have ever imagined. The blessings that you once thought were out of reach are now within your grasp. You will find that opportunities begin to show up in your life in ways that are beyond your wildest dreams. The doors that were once closed begin to open. The people who once seemed distant now draw near. Your financial abundance begins to flow. Your health improves. Your relationships flourish. And your sense of purpose becomes clearer than ever before. But even as you witness this beautiful unfolding, you must continue to hold firm to the knowing that everything is happening for your highest good. There may still be moments of doubt. There may be times when the old fears and insecurities resurface. But these moments are not to be feared. They are simply remnants of the past that are leaving you. As you move toward your higher self, the old versions of you will fall away. The fears, the doubts, the limiting beliefs. They no longer serve you. They are simply the residue of a life that is no longer aligned with your true desire. When these fears arise, do not meet them with resistance. Acknowledge them. Understand that they are simply the mind's way of clinging to the familiar. But know this, you are not the fears. You are not the doubts. You are not the limitations. You are something far greater. You are a divine being capable of creating the life you desire. And as you remember this truth, the fears begin to lose their power. They begin to fade into the background as the light of your true self shines brighter than ever before. As you embrace this truth, you will notice that the signs you are receiving become even more clear. The messages from the universe become more direct, more frequent. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, having the right conversations with the right people. Opportunities will begin to flow to you effortlessly. You will find that the world around you begins to mirror your inner state of alignment. What you focus on, you attract. What you believe, you create. And as you embrace this new way of being, you will also realize that your dreams are not just about material success. They are about becoming the fullest expression of who you truly are. The blessings that you are receiving are not just about what you can hold in your hands, but about the person you are becoming in the process. You are shedding the layers of fear, doubt, and insecurity. You are revealing the divine being that has always been within you. The desires you once thought were separate from you are now becoming one with you. You will find that the more you step into this truth, the more you begin to align with the abundant flow of the universe. Everything you need is already here, waiting for you to tap into it. The love, the success, the joy, the peace, they are all within you. And as you align with this truth, the external world will begin to reflect it back to you. What once seemed distant or impossible now becomes your reality. The signs will continue to guide you, they will continue to show you the way, and you will know, without a shadow of a doubt, that the universe is working in your favor. This alignment will also bring with it a deep sense of gratitude. As you witness the unfolding of your desires, you will begin to see the beauty in every moment. You will recognize the divine intelligence behind everything that has happened, everything that is happening, and everything that is yet to come. The ups and downs, the twists and turns were all part of a larger plan. They were all necessary to bring you to this moment, the moment where you are finally ready to receive all that you have been dreaming of. And when you truly understand this, your heart will swell with gratitude. Gratitude for the journey, gratitude for the lessons learned, gratitude for the people who have crossed your path, gratitude for the challenges that shaped you, gratitude for the growth, the transformation, and the miracles that are unfolding in your life. In this state of gratitude, you will find that your life continues to expand in ways that you could never have imagined. You will begin to realize that the manifestation of your desires is not just about what you receive, but about who you become in the process. The journey itself is the gift. It is in the becoming that you find your greatest treasures. And as you continue to grow, you will find that your capacity to receive expands. The more you grow, the more you are able to hold the blessings that the universe has waiting for you. And so, as you stand on the threshold of this new chapter, know that the signs are everywhere. They are guiding you. They are showing you that the time has come for you to receive all that you have been waiting for. You are ready, you are worthy, and the universe is ready to deliver. Keep your heart open, trust the process, let go of the need to control, and watch as your dreams unfold before your very eyes. The universe is calling you to step into the fullness of your power, to embrace the abundance that is your birthright, and to trust that everything is falling into place. And when you look back on this moment, you will see that it was always meant to be. The signs were always there, guiding you, leading you toward the divine manifestation that you are now about to receive. You are on the path of your highest good, and nothing can stop you now. As you continue on this journey, know that you are not alone. Every step you take, every decision you make is in perfect alignment with the divine plan. The signs are all around you, pointing the way, confirming that what you desire is not just a dream, but a reality in the making. The universe, in all its infinite wisdom, is working in your favor, preparing the perfect circumstances for your highest good. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and most importantly, trust that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. As you open your heart and mind to the abundance that is already yours, you will find that everything you need will be provided. The doors will open, the opportunities will present themselves, and the blessings you've been waiting for will manifest before you. All that you have to do is remain grounded in your faith, keep your eyes open for the signs, and embrace the journey with gratitude and trust. The time has come for you to step fully into your power and receive all that has been promised to you. You are ready to experience the greatness that has always been destined for you. Your desires are already on their way, and as you continue to align with the truth of who you are, nothing will be able to stop the flow of blessings that are about to pour into your life. You are on the verge of something extraordinary. Believe it, trust it, and watch as your life transforms in ways that will leave you in awe. The best is yet to come. In your darkest moments, when you feel utterly alone, I want you to remember something powerful. Something true: God is with you. When the world presses in on all sides, when fear whispers in your ear and doubt weighs heavy on your heart, God stands beside you. He is not distant, far removed from your struggles. He is intimately aware of your every step, and He is closer than you can imagine. There is a deep temptation in times of hardship to believe that we've been abandoned, to assume that if life is hard, then God must be far away. But that could not be further from the truth. Pain, suffering, and trials are not signs of His absence. They are often the moments when He is nearest to us. Just as a loving parent watches over a child who is learning to walk, guiding and comforting, so too does God walk with us through the uncertainty of life. He doesn't always shield us from every hardship, but He promises to never leave our side. Consider the profound words found in Scripture: I will never leave you nor forsake you, Hebrews 13:5. These are not just comforting words, but an unshakable promise. When we are lost, He is the one searching for us. When we are broken, He is the one mending us. Even when we are silent, unable to pray or speak, He knows the cries of our hearts. God's presence is not reserved for moments of triumph or peace. It is not contingent upon your strength, your success, or even your faith. He is there in the quiet moments when no one else sees your tears, and in the stillness of your soul, when words cannot express your anguish. He is there in the mundane, the everyday rhythms of life, when it feels as if nothing extraordinary is happening. And He is there in the storm, when your world feels as if it's falling apart. It is easy to forget this truth, to let our circumstances define what we believe about God. When pain is loud, it drowns out the whispers of His love. But even in your pain, God is saying, I am with you. When you can't see the way forward, when your prayers seem unanswered, trust that He is working in ways unseen. God often does His greatest work in the silence and stillness of our waiting. I think of the moments in life when you've been carried, moments you thought you would never survive. Was it not in those times that, upon reflection, you realized God was there all along? His hand guiding you, His voice whispering comfort, His Spirit giving you strength you didn't know you had. It is often in retrospect that we see His presence most clearly. But let us not wait for hindsight to believe in his faithfulness. Let us hold fast to the truth that God is with us now. He is not a passive observer watching from a distance. He is actively involved in the very fabric of your existence, interwoven into your joys and your sorrows. Every breath you take is a testament to his sustaining power, and every moment of your life is held securely in his hands. God's promise to be with us is not a fleeting reassurance, it is an eternal truth. It is woven into the very essence of who he is, Emmanuel, God with us. He has walked the human experience, felt our pain, and carried our burdens. He is not unfamiliar with our struggles, for he has borne them all. So even now, in this moment, God is with you. Whether you feel his presence or not, whether you understand his ways or not, he remains by your side. He is the constant, unchanging source of hope and peace. In the quiet moments of your soul, when everything around you seems to fade into the background, remember that God is not silent. He is with you. He speaks in ways that we often overlook in the soft rustle of the wind, the gentle warmth of the sun, or the stillness of the night. His voice may not come as a loud, booming sound, but rather as a quiet assurance, a subtle presence that whispers, "I am here." It is a remarkable truth, one that we sometimes take for granted. The creator of the universe, the one who fashioned the stars and set the planets in motion, chooses to be with you. Not because of anything you have done, but simply because he loves you. This love is not conditional, it does not waver, based on your circumstances or your performance. It is steadfast, eternal, and unchanging. His love for you is the anchor in the storm, the light in the darkest valley. There is a particular beauty in knowing that we are not alone, even when everything around us suggests that we are. Loneliness is one of the most painful experiences a human can endure. And yet, even in those moments when you feel isolated from others, God's presence remains. He is not a distant, unapproachable deity. He is a personal, loving God who is near to the brokenhearted, who binds up our wounds, and who never leaves us in our suffering. When the weight of life feels unbearable, when anxiety and fear creep into your heart, it is in these moments that God is closest. The Psalms remind us, the Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him, in truth, Psalm 145:18. His nearness is not a distant promise, but a present reality. He is not far off, watching from a distance. He is beside you, carrying you through every trial, every moment of confusion, and every step you take on your journey. It is natural for us to wonder why, if God is with us, we still experience hardship. Why does suffering persist if the Almighty Creator walks by our side? These are questions that have echoed throughout history. But suffering does not negate his presence. In fact, the very existence of pain in our lives often becomes the canvas on which God paints his grace. The trials we face may challenge our faith, but they also provide an opportunity to experience the depth of God's love and the strength of his companionship. Consider for a moment the story of the Israelites wandering in the wilderness. For 40 years they walked through a barren land, uncertain of their future, filled with doubt and fear. Yet God was with them every step of the way. He guided them by a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. He provided manna from heaven to sustain them, water from a rock to quench their thirst, and his presence to comfort them. Despite their grumbling, their rebellion, and their lack of faith, he never left them. In much the same way, God is with us in our own wilderness. When we wander, feeling lost and unsure of our direction, he does not abandon us. He walks beside us, guiding us with his Spirit, providing for our needs, and offering us his unfailing love. The wilderness is not a place of abandonment. It is often where we learn to rely on God the most. It is where his presence becomes the most tangible, where his provision becomes our lifeline. God's promise to be with us is not just for the mountaintop experiences, the moments of victory and celebration. It is for the valleys, the low, difficult places of life where we feel broken, confused, and hopeless. It is easy to acknowledge God's presence when things are going well, but it is in the moments of despair that his nearness is truly tested. And yet he remains. He does not turn away from our pain. Instead, he enters into it with us, offering comfort and peace that surpasses understanding. There are countless examples in Scripture of individuals who, in their darkest moments, discovered that God was with them. Take Joseph, for instance, who was betrayed by his brothers, sold into slavery, falsely accused, and imprisoned. Yet throughout his story, we are reminded again and again that the Lord was with Joseph, Genesis 39:2. Even in the pit, even in the prison, God was with him. And because of God's presence, Joseph's circumstances, though painful, were not the end of his story. God was working behind the scenes, preparing a greater purpose for Joseph's life. And consider the life of David, who faced countless battles, betrayals, and heart-aches. Yet through it all, David knew that God was with him. He declared in Psalm 23, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff. They comfort me." David understood that God's presence did not remove the valley, but it transformed the way he walked through it. He could face the shadows without fear because he knew he was not alone. In your own life, the valleys may seem deep, the shadows overwhelming, but like David, you can walk through them without fear. God's presence is your comfort, His love your protection, His guidance your assurance. The valley is not the destination, it is part of the journey, and God is walking with you every step of the way. There is a mystery to God's presence that we will never fully comprehend this side of eternity. His ways are higher than our ways, His thoughts beyond our understanding. And yet He chooses to make Himself known to us in intimate and personal ways. He meets us in the mundane, in the quiet corners of our day, in the moments we least expect. His presence is not something we have to earn or strive for. It is a gift freely given because of His great love for us. And what is perhaps most remarkable is that God is not with us simply as a bystander. He is not merely watching our lives from a distance. He is actively involved in every detail, working all things together for our good. Romans 8:28. He is with us in our joy and in our sorrow, in our triumphs and in our defeats. He rejoices with us when we celebrate and grieves with us when we mourn. His heart is deeply connected to ours, and His love is woven into the very fabric of our being. Even in those moments when you feel abandoned or forgotten, remember that God has not left you. His presence is not based on your feelings, it is based on His unchanging character. He is faithful, even when we are faithless. He is near, even when we cannot sense Him. And He is working, even when we cannot see His hand. The cross is the ultimate reminder that God is with us. In Jesus, we see the fullness of God's love and His commitment to be with us. He did not stay distant from our pain. He entered into it, taking on our suffering, our sin, and our shame. He walked the road of rejection, betrayal, and death, so that we would never have to walk alone. In Jesus, God became Emmanuel, God with us, in the most profound and personal way. And because of the cross, we can be confident that there is no situation too dark, no valley too deep, no storm too violent for God's presence to reach us. He has already gone to the greatest lengths to be with us, and He will not abandon us now. His love is too strong, His grace too deep, His faithfulness too great to ever leave us alone. So in the moments when you feel overwhelmed, when the weight of life presses in on all sides, remember this: God is with you. Not as a distant observer, but as a loving Father, a faithful friend, and a constant companion. He is with you in the fire, in the flood, and in the wilderness. And He will never leave your side. Even when the path before you seems unclear, God is with you. Life is filled with uncertainties, moments when we question what lies ahead. It's easy to become overwhelmed by fear, to let doubt take root in our hearts. We wonder if we'll make the right decisions, if the future will be as we hope. But God has not left us to navigate life's complexities alone. He is with us, guiding each step, even when the road is hidden in shadows. Think of the moments when you felt lost, unsure of which direction to take. Perhaps you stood at a crossroads, wondering which path would lead to peace, which to pain. In these moments, it is natural to feel paralyzed by uncertainty. But remember, God is not just waiting at the destination, He walks the journey with you. His presence is not confined to the end goal. He is with you every step of the way, offering wisdom when you ask for it, strength when you feel weak, and peace when anxiety threatens to overwhelm you. The Bible tells us, Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight. Proverbs 3:5-6. Notice that we are not called to rely on our own understanding. We do not have to figure everything out on our own. Instead, we are invited to trust that God sees the full picture, trust that he knows what is best for us, trust that he is with us even when we cannot see the way forward. Trusting in God's presence does not mean that we will never face challenges or uncertainty. It does not mean that every decision will be easy or that we will always know what to do. What it does mean is that we do not have to face these challenges alone. God is with us, providing guidance, comfort, and direction, even in the most confusing times. There is a particular beauty in the way God leads us. He doesn't always give us the entire plan up front. He doesn't always show us the entire map, with every twist and turn laid out before us. Instead, he asks us to trust him for the next step. And when we take that step in faith, trusting that he is with us, he reveals the next step. One step at a time, he guides us forward, and as we walk with him, we begin to see that his plan for us is good, even when we don't fully understand it. Sometimes God's presence is most powerfully experienced in the waiting. There are seasons in life when we feel like we are standing still, when nothing seems to be moving forward, and we wonder if God is still there. But it is often in these waiting seasons that God does his deepest work in us. Waiting is not wasted time, it is time in which God is shaping us, refining us, and preparing us for what lies ahead. His presence in the waiting is a reminder that we are not forgotten, that his plans for us are still in motion, even when we cannot see them. It can be hard to trust in God's timing when we are eager for answers, when we are desperate for a breakthrough. But remember that God's timing is always perfect. He is never early, and he is never late. He knows exactly what we need and when we need it. And as we wait on him, we can be confident that he is with us, working all things together for our good, even when we don't understand his ways. Consider the story of Abraham, who waited many years for the promise of a son. God had promised Abraham that he would be the father of many nations, yet the fulfillment of that promise seemed impossible as the years passed. Abraham could have doubted, could have given up hope, but he trusted in God's promise, even when it seemed like nothing was happening. And in the fullness of time, God fulfilled his promise. Abraham's story reminds us that God's delays are not his denials. His presence is with us in the waiting, and his promises are always true. In the moments when you feel like you are in a season of waiting, remember that God is still working. He is with you in the silence, in the stillness, and in the uncertainty. He is not absent, he is present, shaping you, strengthening you, and preparing you for what lies ahead. The waiting is not wasted. It is an opportunity to draw closer to him, to deepen your trust in his goodness, and to rest in the assurance that he is with you, even when you cannot see the full picture. God's presence is also with us in our relationships with others. There are times when we experience deep hurt or betrayal at the hands of those we trusted, and it can be difficult to believe that God is with us in those moments of relational pain. But even in the midst of heartbreak, God does not abandon us. He is with us, offering healing for our wounds, comfort for our sorrow, and restoration for what has been broken. In relationships, we often encounter situations where we are called to forgive, to extend grace, or to seek reconciliation. These moments can be incredibly difficult, especially when the pain is deep. But God's presence gives us the strength to do what seems impossible. He does not ask us to navigate the complexities of relationships on our own. He is with us, offering wisdom, patience, and the capacity to love, even when it is hard. When we experience the brokenness of relationships, it is easy to close ourselves off, to build walls around our hearts to protect ourselves from future pain. But God calls us to remain open, to keep loving, to keep forgiving, knowing that He is with us in our vulnerability. He understands the pain of betrayal and rejection. Jesus Himself was betrayed by those closest to Him, yet He continued to love, continued to forgive. His presence in our lives empowers us to do the same, not because it is easy, but because He is with us, giving us the strength to love as He loves. God's presence also brings peace in the midst of chaos. The world around us can often feel overwhelming, filled with noise, distractions, and conflict. We are bombarded with messages that stir up anxiety, fear, and confusion. But in the midst of the world's chaos, God offers us a peace that surpasses all understanding. His presence calms the storm within us, even when the storm outside rages on. When Jesus calmed the storm on the Sea of Galilee, his disciples were amazed at his power. They had been terrified, convinced that they were about to perish in the storm. But Jesus was with them, and with just a word, he brought peace to the chaos. In the same way, God is with us in the storms of life. He may not always calm the external storm immediately, but he brings peace to our hearts, reminding us that we are not alone. This peace is not the absence of conflict or difficulty, but the presence of God in the midst of it. It is a peace that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, God is with us, and he is in control. It is a peace that anchors us, even when the waves crash around us, because we know that we are held by the one who is greater than the storm. God's presence also gives us purpose. There are times when we wonder what our lives are meant for, when we question our significance or the impact we are making. In those moments of doubt, God reminds us that he is with us, and that our lives have meaning because we are his. He has created each of us with a unique purpose, and his presence in our lives gives us the strength and the clarity to live out that purpose. We may not always know the full scope of what God is calling us to do, but we can trust that he is with us, guiding us step by step. He has equipped us with the gifts and talents we need to fulfill the calling he has placed on our lives. And even when we feel inadequate or unprepared, his presence gives us the confidence to move forward, knowing that he is with us, empowering us to accomplish his purposes. In every season of life, whether we are walking through times of joy or sorrow, certainty or confusion, God is with us. His presence is not something we have to earn or strive for. It is a gift, a promise that we can hold on to, no matter what we face. He is with us in our victories and our defeats, in our triumphs and our trials. He is with us in the ordinary moments of our day and in the extraordinary challenges we encounter. His presence is our constant companion, our source of strength, comfort, and peace. In every moment, remember this simple yet profound truth: God is with you. You are never alone. His love surrounds you, his peace fills you, and his presence goes before you. No matter what you face, no matter where you go, you can rest in the assurance that he is with you, now and always. Even when life feels overwhelming, when it seems that the weight of the world is pressing down on your shoulders, God is with you. He is there in the quiet moments when you feel alone, in the chaos when everything seems to be falling apart, and in the moments when you don't know how to take the next step. His presence is not distant or removed, but intimate and close, like a loving friend who walks beside you, even when the path is dark and uncertain. The beauty of God's presence is that it is not based on our circumstances. It does not waver depending on whether life is going well or whether we are facing challenges. God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, and his promise to be with us never changes. No matter what we are going through, his love and his presence are constant, unwavering, and faithful. There is a deep comfort in knowing that God is with us, even when we are at our weakest. We often feel that we need to be strong, to hold everything together, to figure things out on our own. But the truth is, God does not expect us to carry the weight of the world on our own shoulders. He invites us to lean on him, to find our strength in his presence, to trust that he is holding us, even when we feel like we are falling apart. In the Psalms, David often cries out to God in moments of distress, yet he always returns to the truth that God is with him. In Psalm 23, David declares, "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me." Notice that David doesn't say he will never walk through dark valleys. He acknowledges that there will be times of hardship, times when the way forward seems unclear, and yet he is confident that he has nothing to fear. Why? Because God is with him. This is the promise that we can hold on to in our own lives. We may not be able to avoid the valleys, the difficulties, or the challenges, but we can walk through them with confidence because God is with us. His presence is our refuge, our safe place, the assurance that we are not alone, no matter what we face. God's presence is also a source of hope. In the moments when life feels heavy, when we are burdened by sorrow or weighed down by uncertainty, we can find hope in the knowledge that God is with us. His presence is a reminder that we are never without hope because He is always at work, even when we cannot see it. He is always moving on our behalf, orchestrating things for our good and bringing beauty out of the ashes. Hope is not just a wishful thinking or an optimistic outlook. It is a deep, abiding trust in God's goodness and His faithfulness. It is the belief that because God is with us, we have nothing to fear. It is the assurance that even in the darkest moments, there is a light that cannot be extinguished because it comes from the one who is the light of the world. When we feel hopeless, when life feels overwhelming, God invites us to rest in His presence. He calls us to stop striving, to cease our anxious efforts to control or fix everything, and to simply be with Him. In His presence we find rest for our souls. In His presence we are reminded that we do not have to have all the answers because He is the answer. We do not have to have everything figured out because He knows the way, and He is with us on the journey. Sometimes it can be hard to sense God's presence, especially when we are going through difficult times. It can feel as though God is far away, as though He has abandoned us. But the truth is, God never leaves us. Even when we cannot feel Him, even when we cannot see what He is doing, He is still there. His presence is not dependent on our ability to perceive it. It is a reality that remains true, regardless of our feelings. In those moments when it feels like God is distant, we are called to trust in His character, to trust that He is faithful, even when we cannot see how He is working. We are called to remember that His presence is not something we earn or achieve. It is a gift that He freely gives to us, simply because He loves us. It is in these moments of feeling distant from God that we are invited to draw near to Him in faith. James 4:8 tells us, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you." This is a beautiful promise, one that reminds us that God is always ready to meet us where we are. He is always ready to draw near to us, to comfort us, to guide us, and to remind us that we are never alone. Drawing near to God can look different for each of us. For some, it may mean spending time in prayer, pouring out our hearts to Him and asking for His help. For others, it may mean immersing ourselves in His Word, allowing His truth to speak to the deepest parts of our souls. For still others, it may mean simply sitting in silence, resting in the knowledge that God is with us, even when we have no words to say. However we choose to draw near to God, the important thing is that we do it. We don't have to wait until we have everything figured out, or until we feel like we are in a good place spiritually. God invites us to come to Him as we are, with all of our fears, doubts, and struggles, and to trust that He will meet us there. The beauty of God's presence is that it transforms us. When we spend time with Him, when we rest in His presence, we are changed. Our perspective shifts, our hearts are softened, and we begin to see the world through His eyes. We are reminded of His love for us, of His grace that is always sufficient, and of His power that is made perfect in our weakness. God's presence also gives us courage. In the moments when we are called to step out in faith, to take risks, or to face challenges, we can do so with confidence, because we know that God is with us. We do not have to rely on our own strength or our own abilities. We can rely on His strength and His presence, knowing that He is with us every step of the way. When God calls us to something, He does not abandon us to figure it out on our own. He goes before us, preparing the way, and He walks beside us, offering guidance and support. He empowers us to do what we could never do on our own, giving us the courage to face our fears and the strength to persevere. This courage is not a product of self-confidence or human determination. It is a gift from God, born out of our trust in His presence. It is the courage that comes from knowing that we are never alone, that we are loved by a God who is always with us, and that He will never leave us or forsake us. In moments of great difficulty, when fear threatens to overwhelm us, God's presence is a source of peace and strength. It is the assurance that no matter what happens, we are held in His loving hands. Even when the outcome is uncertain, even when the future is unclear, we can face it with courage because we know that God is with us. God's presence is also a source of joy. In the midst of life's challenges, it can be easy to lose sight of the joy that comes from being in relationship with God. But His presence fills our hearts with joy, even in the midst of trials. It is a joy that is not dependent on our circumstances, but on the unchanging truth that we are loved by a God who is with us. This joy is not a fleeting emotion or a temporary feeling of happiness. It is a deep, abiding sense of contentment and peace that comes from knowing that we are never alone. It is the joy that comes from knowing that no matter what happens, we are loved by a God who is with us and who will never leave us. God's presence is a constant reminder that we are never alone. In every moment of our lives, He is with us, guiding us, comforting us, and giving us the strength we need to face whatever comes our way. His presence is a gift, a promise, and a source of hope, courage, and joy. And it is a reminder that no matter what we face, we are never alone. God is with us now and always. The reality that God is with us is far more than a comforting thought. It is the foundation upon which we build our entire spiritual existence. In a world where so many things seem transient, where circumstances change in an instant, where relationships ebb and flow, and where our own emotions can feel like a whirlwind, there is a deep reassurance in knowing that God's presence is constant. It does not falter or shift with the changing tides of our lives. Instead, it remains steady, a solid rock upon which we can anchor ourselves. This is not a distant presence, one that watches from afar, but a close and intimate one. God is not simply near us, He is with us, beside us, and within us. To grasp the fullness of this truth, we must allow it to penetrate beyond the surface of our understanding and let it reach into the deepest places of our hearts. We live in a world that values self-sufficiency, independence, and the ability to control our circumstances. We are often taught to believe that our strength lies in our ability to manage everything on our own, to solve our own problems, and to find our own way. But this mindset can only take us so far. There comes a point in all of our lives when we are faced with situations that are beyond our control, times when our own strength, wisdom, and understanding are not enough. It is in these moments that the truth of God's presence becomes our lifeline. Consider the moments in your own life when you have felt overwhelmed, when the weight of your circumstances seemed too heavy to bear, or when you were uncertain of how to move forward. In those moments, the knowledge that God is with you can be the difference between despair and hope. It reminds you that you do not have to face life's challenges alone. You do not have to carry the burden of your worries, fears, or doubts by yourself. God is with you, walking alongside you, bearing the load with you. This truth does not necessarily remove the difficulties we face, but it transforms the way we experience them. It gives us the courage to persevere, the strength to endure, and the hope to believe that we will emerge from the storm on the other side. When we embrace the reality that God is with us, we begin to see our circumstances through a different lens. No longer are we left to navigate the trials of life with a sense of helplessness or isolation. Instead, we can approach them with the confidence that we are never alone. This is not just wishful thinking or a comforting notion to help us sleep at night. It is a foundational truth that has been echoed throughout the ages in the lives of countless men and women of faith. From the Israelites wandering in the wilderness to the early Christians facing persecution, the message has remained the same: God is with us. He goes before us, walks beside us, and remains behind us, protecting us on all sides. Even when we cannot feel His presence, it is still there. Our human senses are limited, and there are times when God's presence feels distant or hidden from us. But this does not mean He has abandoned us. In fact, some of the most profound moments of God's presence come in the times when we feel He is furthest away. It is often in the quiet, in the stillness, in the waiting, that we come to realize how deeply God is at work in our lives, even when we cannot see it. His presence is not dependent on our ability to perceive it. It is a constant, unwavering reality, and it requires us to trust in something greater than our own understanding. This trust can be difficult, especially in moments of deep pain or confusion. When life takes unexpected turns, when we face loss, disappointment, or heartache, it can feel as though God has left us to fend for ourselves. But Scripture reminds us time and again that God never abandons His children. In the book of Psalms, David cries out in his distress, yet he continually returns to the truth that God is his refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble. This is not the response of someone who has never experienced hardship. It is the response of someone who has known both the highs and the lows of life and has found that, through it all, God is faithful. God's presence is not something we earn or achieve. It is a gift freely given. This is perhaps one of the most beautiful aspects of our relationship with God. He does not withhold His presence based on our performance, our faithfulness, or our ability to maintain a perfect life. God is with us not because we are deserving, but because He is loving. His presence is a reflection of His character, not our worthiness. This means that even in our moments of failure, in our doubts, in our struggles, God remains with us. His love is steadfast, and His commitment to us is unwavering. One of the profound implications of God's presence with us is that it transforms how we relate to others. When we are deeply rooted in the assurance that God is with us, it frees us from the need to seek validation or approval from the world around us. We no longer need to rely on the opinions or acceptance of others to feel secure in who we are. God's presence reminds us that we are already fully known and fully loved. This gives us the freedom to extend love, grace, and compassion to those around us without fear or reservation. We can live out our faith boldly, knowing that we are supported by a power far greater than anything this world can offer. Furthermore, God's presence calls us to action. It is not something we are meant to hoard or keep to ourselves. When we recognize that God is with us, we are compelled to share that truth with others. We are called to be vessels of His love, to bring His presence into the lives of those who are hurting, lost, or in need. This does not always require grand gestures or extraordinary acts. Often, it is in the small, quiet moments of kindness, compassion, and service that we reflect the presence of God to the world. When we offer a listening ear, a helping hand, or a word of encouragement, we become conduits of God's love and presence in the lives of others. The knowledge that God is with us also gives us hope for the future. No matter what challenges lie ahead, no matter what uncertainties we may face, we can move forward with confidence because we know that we are not walking into the unknown alone. God goes before us, preparing the way, and He will be with us in every step we take. This assurance allows us to live with boldness, to take risks in faith, and to pursue the calling that God has placed on our lives without fear of failure. Even when we stumble or fall, God's presence lifts us up and sets us back on the path He has laid before us. In times of trial, we often seek comfort in the idea that everything happens for a reason, but the deeper comfort lies not in understanding the reasons behind our struggles, but in knowing that we are not alone in them. God's presence with us means that we do not have to understand all the answers. We do not have to make sense of every situation. Instead, we can rest in the knowledge that God is in control, and that His presence is enough to carry us through whatever comes our way. The reality that God is with us changes everything. It transforms our perspective, our relationships, our actions, and our hope for the future. It is a truth that sustains us in the darkest of times and fills us with joy in the brightest moments of life. God is with us, and because of that, we can face whatever comes with courage, peace, and the unwavering assurance that we are never alone. This truth, this reality, is what carries us forward, no matter what the journey ahead holds. The message that God is with us is one of the most profound and comforting truths we can ever embrace. It serves as a foundation for hope, strength, and peace in every circumstance of life. When we are faced with uncertainty, hardship, or even moments of joy and triumph, knowing that God is ever present can shift our entire perspective. It changes the way we experience the highs and lows, the mundane and the extraordinary, and even the moments where we feel lost or unsure of where we stand. To say that God is with us is not a mere statement of religious doctrine. It is an invitation to live a life of deep, abiding trust. It calls us to let go of the anxieties that come from trying to control everything and to place our confidence in the one who holds all things together. There is a tremendous freedom that comes from realizing we are not alone in the battles we face. We are not left to navigate the complexities of life on our own, nor are we left to wonder whether we are truly seen or understood. God is with us, and because of that, we can breathe a little easier, even in the most difficult of circumstances. In a world that often feels fragmented, where relationships can be fragile, and where we sometimes feel disconnected from others or even from ourselves, the presence of God reminds us that there is an unshakable connection that remains. No matter how isolated or abandoned we may feel, the truth is that God's presence never leaves us. This connection is not something we have to earn or chase after. It is a gift, a grace freely given, born out of God's unrelenting love for us. Whether we are aware of it or not, His presence envelops us, guides us, and sustains us, providing a steady undercurrent of love and care that flows through every moment of our lives. In our darkest moments, the knowledge of God's presence can be the light that keeps us going. When despair knocks at our door, when grief seems too heavy to bear, or when fear threatens to paralyze us, we can take refuge in the truth that we are not alone. The God who created the universe, who holds the stars in place, is also the God who walks beside us, who knows our pain intimately, and who promises to be our source of comfort and strength. He is not a distant deity, watching from afar, but a loving Father who enters into our pain and walks with us through it. What's more, God's presence is not just with us in our suffering, it is with us in our joy, in our celebrations, and in the moments of quiet contentment. Sometimes we think of God as being closest to us only when we are in need, but His presence permeates every aspect of our lives, the good and the bad. He rejoices with us in our victories and accomplishments, in the beauty of a new day, in the simple pleasures of life. His presence is there in the laughter of friends, in the comfort of a warm home, and in the quiet peace that comes from a heart at rest. Knowing that God is with us transforms how we experience these moments. It deepens our gratitude, enriches our joy, and gives us the profound sense that every moment of our lives is filled with divine purpose. We are often tempted to rely on our own strength, to push forward in life with a sense of independence or self-sufficiency. The world teaches us that success comes from within ourselves, that we must be our own source of strength, courage, and determination. But the presence of God invites us to a different way of living. It reminds us that we were never meant to carry the weight of life on our own. We were never meant to bear our burdens in isolation, or to navigate the twists and turns of life relying solely on our own understanding. God's presence is a reminder that we are held by something far greater than ourselves, that we can release our need for control, and that in doing so we find true freedom and peace. Trusting in God's presence is not always easy. There are times when He feels distant, when we can't sense His nearness, and when we wonder if He has abandoned us. But faith calls us to trust in what we cannot see, to believe that God is with us even when our feelings tell us otherwise. It's in these moments that we are invited to lean not on our own understanding, but on the promises of God. His word is full of reminders that He will never leave us or forsake us, that He is with us always, even to the end of the age. These promises are not empty words, they are the very foundation of our hope. In the Old Testament, the Israelites were constantly reminded of God's presence as they journeyed through the wilderness. They were led by a cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night, visible signs of God's presence with them. Today we may not have such physical manifestations, but we have the assurance of God's Spirit dwelling within us. Through the Holy Spirit, God's presence is not just near us, it is within us, guiding, comforting, and empowering us. This reality should transform the way we approach every situation in life. Whether we are facing a challenge at work, a conflict in a relationship, or a decision about our future, we can do so with the confidence that God is with us, providing the wisdom and strength we need. It is also important to remember that God's presence is not just for our personal comfort and well-being. It calls us to action, to live lives that reflect His love and His goodness in the world. Knowing that God is with us should inspire us to be courageous in our faith, to step out in love and service to others, knowing that we are not doing it alone. When we are called to speak up for justice, to offer compassion to the hurting, or to extend forgiveness to those who have wronged us, we can do so with the confidence that God's presence goes before us and empowers us to do what we could not do on our own. The presence of God is also a source of unity. In a world divided by differences, whether they be political, cultural, or social, God's presence reminds us that we are all connected by something greater than ourselves. When we are aware of God's presence with us, we can begin to see His image in others, even in those with whom we disagree or with whom we have little in common. This awareness of God's presence should move us toward greater compassion, greater understanding, and greater efforts toward reconciliation. It should lead us to be peacemakers, bridge builders, and agents of healing in a broken world. The truth that God is with us gives us an unshakable foundation for life. No matter what storms may come, no matter what trials we may face, we can stand firm in the knowledge that we are not alone. We are loved by a God who is with us, who knows us by name, and who walks with us every step of the way. This truth should give us great peace, great courage, and great hope as we navigate the complexities of life. In the end, the presence of God is the greatest gift we could ever receive. It is the assurance that we are never alone, the source of our strength, and the foundation of our hope. It is the invitation to live lives of deep trust, to let go of our anxieties, and to embrace the freedom that comes from knowing that we are held by a love that will never let us go. God is with us now and always, and that is enough. There comes a moment in life when every step feels heavy and every path seems blocked. You may be battling storms that no one sees, carrying burdens that weigh on your soul. Perhaps you've tried everything, leaning on your own strength, seeking counsel, even putting on a brave face. But deep down, you know something is missing. What if the answer to your struggles is not in fighting harder, but in surrendering? What if the key to your breakthrough is trusting a power far greater than your own? Stay with me, and I'll show you how to unlock the peace and victory you've been searching for before time slips away. Life often throws us into valleys so deep that we begin to question everything we believe. Our plans crumble, relationships falter, and health declines, leaving us standing in the midst of chaos. The human response is to control, fix, and resolve. Yet the more we strive in our own might, the more entangled we become. This is where many falter, not because they lack faith, but because they misplace it. We turn to temporary solutions for eternal problems, forgetting that our trials were never meant to be shouldered alone. God's word reminds us in Proverbs 3:5-6 to trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your path straight. But trusting is not passive, it is an active, deliberate choice to relinquish control. Surrendering to God does not mean you stop caring. It means you acknowledge that He cares more deeply for you than you could ever imagine. It is in our moments of greatest vulnerability that His strength is made perfect. Paul understood this truth when he wrote in 2 Corinthians 12:9, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness." Your weaknesses, your struggles, they are not signs of defeat, but invitations for divine intervention. Now think of the countless biblical figures who faced overwhelming odds yet found victory when they placed their trust in God. Consider David, the shepherd boy, standing before the giant Goliath. By human standards, he was no match. Yet his confidence was not in his slingshot, but in the God who had delivered him from the paw of the lion and the bear. David declared, "The battle is the Lord's," 1 Samuel 17:47. He understood that when you place your struggles in God's hands, you align yourself with a power that no force on earth can withstand. Similarly, the Israelites stood trapped between Pharaoh's advancing army and the Red Sea. In their panic, they cried out, questioning why they had left Egypt only to die in the wilderness. But Moses responded with unwavering faith, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today." Exodus 14:13. And what happened? The sea parted, and they walked through on dry ground. It was not their strategy or strength that saved them, it was their obedience and trust in God's plan. But why is it so difficult for us to let go and trust? Fear, doubt, and pride often stand in the way. We fear losing control, we doubt God's timing, and we pride ourselves on our ability to solve problems. Yet these very things prevent us from experiencing the fullness of God's promises. Isaiah 41:10 provides a powerful reminder, so do not fear, for I am with you, do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you, I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. When fear grips you, let these words anchor your soul. God's presence is your assurance, His strength your refuge. The journey of trust begins in the mind. Romans 12:2 urges us, do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind to place your struggles in God's hands. You must first relinquish the worldly mindset that tells you to rely solely on yourself. Instead, embrace a kingdom perspective. See your challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities for God to demonstrate His power and faithfulness. When you renew your mind, you open the door for God to transform your circumstances. And what about those silent battles, the ones no one else sees? The financial strain, the broken marriage, the health scare, the deep loneliness. God sees it all. Psalm 34:18 assures us, the Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. You are never alone in your struggles. The same God who calmed the storm with a word, who fed thousands with a few loaves and fish, and who raised Lazarus from the dead, is the God who walks with you through every trial. Prayer is your direct line to this God of miracles. Yet prayer is not merely a ritual, it is a conversation, an exchange of your burdens for His peace. Philippians 4:6-7 teaches us, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. When you pray, you are not simply speaking into the void, you are engaging with the Creator of the universe, the one who holds your life in His hands. Faith without action, however, is incomplete. James 2:26 declares, as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. Trusting God requires you to step out in obedience, even when the path ahead is unclear. Like Peter stepping out of the boat to walk on water, your faith must propel you into action. It may feel risky, even terrifying, but know that God's hand is always there to catch you if you begin to sink. The enemy will try to distract and discourage you, whispering lies that you are alone, unworthy, and beyond help. But these are tactics designed to keep you from your destiny. Stand firm on the truth of God's word. Ephesians 6:10-11 instructs us to be strong in the Lord and in His mighty power. Put on the full armor of God so that you can take your stand against the devil's schemes. Equip yourself daily with His word, and let it be your shield and sword in the battles you face. When you finally place your struggles in God's hands, something extraordinary happens. The weight you've been carrying begins to lift, and peace that defies human understanding floods your heart. You may not see the resolution immediately, but you will sense God's presence guiding and sustaining you. His timing is perfect, His methods beyond comprehension, and His love unfailing. Trust that He is working all things together for your good, as Romans 8:28 promises. The key is perseverance. Galatians 6:9 encourages us, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest. If we do not give up, God's plan for your life is far greater than anything you could imagine, but it requires your steadfast faith. Do not grow weary in the waiting, the harvest is coming. Keep pressing forward, knowing that every tear, every prayer, and every act of faith is preparing you for a breakthrough. When you decide to place everything in God's hands, you enter a realm where human understanding gives way to divine wisdom. It is here, in this sacred space of surrender, that God begins to work in ways that defy explanation. The process, however, requires patience, a virtue that challenges the very core of our human nature. We live in a world that thrives on immediacy, where waiting feels like an eternity. Yet God's timing operates beyond the constraints of our schedules. He works in seasons, not seconds. Ecclesiastes 3:11 reminds us He has made everything beautiful in its time. Trusting in His time, trusting in His timing means believing that every delay has a purpose, every pause a divine reason. Consider Joseph, a man who endured years of betrayal, slavery, and imprisonment before stepping into his destiny. From the outside, his life seemed like a series of unfortunate events. But Joseph never wavered in his faith. He understood that God's promises are not voided by life's detours. In Genesis 50:20, Joseph declared to his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." His journey was a testament to the power of endurance and unwavering trust in God's plan. Every struggle you face is an opportunity for growth. Trials refine your character and deepen your reliance on God. James 1:2-4 speaks to this truth. "Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything." It is in the fire of adversity that your faith is purified, much like gold refined in a furnace. The discomfort you feel now is molding you into the person God created you to be. Faith is not the absence of doubt, but the choice to believe in spite of it. Doubt will always attempt to creep into your mind, whispering questions that challenge your trust in God's promises. When those moments arise, return to His Word, which is filled with assurances of His faithfulness. Hebrews 10:23 encourages us to hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for He who promised is faithful, His track record is flawless. He has never failed, and He never will. As you journey through life's challenges, remember that you are not navigating uncharted territory alone. God's presence is a constant, even when you cannot feel it. The psalmist beautifully captures this in Psalm 23:4. "Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me, your rod and your staff. They comfort me. The valleys you face may seem endless, but they are not without purpose. Every step through the darkness brings you closer to the light of His deliverance." God often uses our struggles to draw us closer to Him. In times of ease and abundance, it is easy to become complacent, to lose sight of our dependence on God. But when life becomes difficult, we are reminded of our need for Him. These moments of vulnerability open the door for a deeper, more intimate relationship with the Creator. Psalm 46:1 declares, "God is our refuge and strength, an ever-present help in trouble in the midst of your pain. He is not distant, He is drawing near, offering comfort and strength." The enemy, however, will do everything in his power to convince you otherwise. He will attempt to isolate you, planting seeds of despair and hopelessness. But the enemy's power is limited, and his defeat is already sealed. Colossians 2:15 proclaims, "And having disarmed the powers and authorities, He made a public spectacle of them. Triumphing over them by the cross, victory is your inheritance, secured through Christ's sacrifice." The battles you face are not for your destruction, but for the demonstration of God's glory. Prayer becomes a lifeline in these moments. It is through prayer that you align your heart with God's will, seeking His guidance and strength. Jesus Himself demonstrated the power of prayer during His time on earth. In the Garden of Gethsemane, facing the weight of the cross, He prayed, "Not my will, but yours be done," Luke 22:42. His prayer was one of surrender, a model for us to follow. In your own life, let your prayers be a reflection of trust, a declaration that you are placing every struggle in His capable hands. The power of community should not be underestimated. God often works through others to provide encouragement, wisdom, and support. Ecclesiastes 4:9-10 reminds us, "Two are better than one, because they have a good return for their labor. If either of them falls down, one can help the other up." Surround yourself with people who will lift you up in prayer, speak life into your situation, and remind you of God's promises. Together you can stand stronger against the challenges you face. Your struggles, though painful, are not permanent. They are temporary seasons designed to prepare you for the next chapter of your life. Romans 8:18 offers hope, stating, "I consider that our present sufferings are not worth comparing with the glory that will be revealed in us." The hardships you endure now are shaping you for a future that is far greater than you can imagine. God's plans for you are filled with hope and purpose, as declared in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." In moments of uncertainty, cling to the promises of God. His word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path, Psalm 119:105. It provides guidance, assurance and strength for every challenge you face. Even when the path ahead seems unclear, trust that He is leading you toward His perfect will. His plans are not always immediately visible, but they are always unfolding, perfectly timed and orchestrated. There will be moments when you are tempted to give up, to let the weight of your struggles overwhelm you. In those moments, remember the words of Isaiah 40:31, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." God's strength is inexhaustible, and He offers it freely to those who trust in Him. When your strength fails, His power prevails. The journey of faith is not without its challenges, but it is one that leads to eternal reward. Every trial, every prayer offered in faith brings you closer to the fulfillment of God's promises. Hebrews 11:6 reminds us that without faith it is impossible to please God, because anyone who comes to Him must believe that He exists, and that He rewards those who earnestly seek Him. Your faith, even as small as a mustard seed, holds the power to move mountains. The legacy of your trust in God will extend beyond your own life. Your story of faith and perseverance will inspire others to seek God in their own struggles. As you place your struggles in His hands, you become a living testimony of His grace, love, and power. Your life becomes a beacon of hope, pointing others to the one who is greater than any challenge they face. God's ways are higher than our ways, and His thoughts are infinitely beyond what we can comprehend. Yet, in His infinite wisdom, He chooses to involve us in His divine plan, weaving our struggles into a greater narrative of redemption and purpose. When you place your life in God's hands, you are giving Him permission to turn your pain into purpose, your trials into triumphs, and your tests into testimonies. The very things that once seemed to break you are the same things He will use to build you. Consider the example of David, a shepherd boy anointed to be king. Before he could ascend to the throne, David faced a multitude of challenges, including the jealousy and pursuit of King Saul. It would have been easy for David to grow weary and abandon his calling. But in every moment of despair, David sought refuge in God. He poured out his heart in prayer and worship, and in return, God strengthened him for the journey. Psalm 34:17-18 beautifully encapsulates this truth. The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Even in the wilderness, David knew that God was shaping him for his destiny. In the same way, your current struggles are not a detour, but a part of God's process of preparation. He is refining you, stretching your faith, and equipping you for the calling on your life. Each difficulty you face is like a chisel in the hands of a master sculptor, carefully shaping you into his masterpiece. Ephesians 2:10 declares, "For we are God's handiwork, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." You were not created to live a life of defeat, but to walk in the fullness of God's purpose. When you release control and place your burdens in God's hands, you make room for His peace to fill your heart. This peace is not contingent on your circumstances. It is a supernatural assurance that God is in control, no matter what you face. Philippians 4:6-7 encourages us, "Do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus." This peace serves as a shield, protecting your mind from the lies of the enemy and your heart from the weight of fear. There is incredible power in trusting God through uncertainty. When the Israelites stood before the Red Sea, pursued by Pharaoh's army, their situation seemed hopeless. But Moses, in faith, declared in Exodus 14:13-14, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. The Egyptians you see today you will never see again. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." In that moment of stillness, God performed a miracle, parting the sea and leading His people to safety. What seemed like an insurmountable obstacle became the stage for His glory to be revealed. Your life too is filled with moments where God is preparing to part the seas before you. But it requires your faith and obedience to trust Him, even when you cannot see a way forward. Isaiah 43:19 promises, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up, do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." God specializes in making a way where there seems to be no way. His solutions are often beyond our imagination, but they are always perfect. One of the greatest challenges in placing our struggles in God's hands is letting go of the need for control. As humans, we have an innate desire to manage every aspect of our lives, believing that we know what is best. But control is an illusion, and the more we try to hold on, the more we realize our limitations. Proverbs 3:5-6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." Trusting God means surrendering your understanding and embracing His sovereignty. Abraham, the father of faith, is a profound example of this principle. When God called him to leave his homeland and go to a place he had never seen, Abraham obeyed without hesitation. His faith was tested further when God asked him to sacrifice his son Isaac, the very promise through whom God had said He would establish a great nation. Abraham's willingness to surrender even his most cherished blessing demonstrated his complete trust in God's plan. In the end, God provided a ram in place of Isaac, affirming His faithfulness and rewarding Abraham's obedience. Genesis 22:14 captures this moment. "So Abraham called that place, 'The Lord will provide.' And to this day it is said, 'On the mountain of the Lord it will be provided.'" This level of trust and surrender may seem daunting, but it is in these moments of ultimate reliance on God that we experience His provision and power. When you place your struggles in His hands, you are not relinquishing control to a distant deity, but entrusting your life to a loving Father who cares deeply for you. 1 Peter 5:7 encourages us, "Cast all your anxiety on Him because He cares for you." His care is personal, His love unwavering, and His power limitless. Throughout Scripture, we see the consistent theme of God using the weak, the broken, and the overlooked to accomplish His purposes. Gideon, who saw himself as the least in his family and from the weakest clan in Israel, was called by God to deliver His people from the Midianites. Despite his doubts and insecurities, God used Gideon mightily, proving that His strength is made perfect in our weakness. Judges 6:12 records the angel of the Lord's greeting to Gideon, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." God does not see you as the world sees you. He sees your potential and calls you according to His purpose. Your struggles do not disqualify you, they position you for greater impact. The Apostle Paul understood this deeply, writing in 2 Corinthians 12:9-10. "But he said to me, 'My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore I will boast all the more gladly about my weaknesses, so that Christ's power may rest on me.' That is why. For Christ's sake I delight in weaknesses, in insults, in hardships, in persecutions, in difficulties. For when I am weak, then I am strong. It is in your moments of greatest weakness that God's power shines the brightest." The journey of faith is not a solitary one. God places people in your life to walk alongside you, to encourage you, and to remind you of His promises. The community of believers is a gift, providing support and accountability. Galatians 6:2 calls us to carry each other's burdens, and in this way you will fulfill the law of Christ, lean into the fellowship of others. For God often uses their words and actions to reveal His love and guidance. As you navigate the complexities of life, remember that God is always at work, even when you cannot see it. His hand is in every detail, orchestrating events to fulfill His purposes. Romans 8:28 assures us, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." This promise does not mean that life will be free from pain or difficulty, but it does mean that every experience, whether joyous or painful, is being woven into a tapestry of divine beauty. Your faithfulness in the face of adversity is not in vain. God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him, as stated in Hebrews 11:6. The seeds of faith you plant today will yield a harvest in due time. Galatians 6:9 encourages us, "Let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up persevere, knowing that your labor, your prayers, and your trust in God are never wasted." The deeper you walk with God, the more you realize that every challenge has a divine purpose. What may seem like an insurmountable obstacle in your life is actually an opportunity for God to demonstrate His power and glory. This realization shifts your perspective, allowing you to see your struggles not as punishments, but as platforms for God's intervention. Every delay, every disappointment, and every difficulty becomes a setup for a breakthrough, a moment where God's faithfulness is revealed in ways you could never imagine. I think of Joseph, sold into slavery by his own brothers and later unjustly imprisoned. By all human standards, Joseph's life seemed to spiral from one tragedy to another. Yet through every trial, God was at work, positioning Joseph for a purpose far greater than he could have envisioned. When the time was right, God elevated Joseph to a place of influence in Egypt, where he became a vessel of provision and deliverance for his family and an entire nation. In Genesis 50:20, Joseph declares to his brothers, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." This powerful statement reminds us that God can transform even the most painful circumstances into instruments of His divine will. Your life is no different. The moments you perceive as setbacks are often setups for God's glory. His timing is perfect, even when it feels delayed by human standards. Habakkuk 2:3 reassures us, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, it speaks of the end, and will not prove false. Though it lingers, wait for it, it will certainly come, and will not delay." Trusting God's timing requires patience and faith, especially when the wait feels unbearable. But know this: God is never late. His plans for you are unfolding exactly as they should in His perfect schedule. The beauty of walking in faith is that it cultivates a spirit of expectancy. When you place your struggles in God's hands, you begin to anticipate His move, looking forward to how He will show up and turn things around. This expectancy fuels your hope and strengthens your resolve. Romans 5:3-5 speaks to this process. Not only so, but we also glory in our sufferings, because we know that suffering produces perseverance, character, and character, hope. And hope does not put us to shame, because God's love has been poured out into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. The hope that comes from trusting God is not a passive wish, it is an active confidence rooted in His promises. This confidence enables you to praise Him even before the breakthrough comes. The enemy wants to silence your praise, knowing that it is a powerful weapon in spiritual warfare. But when you choose to lift your voice in worship despite your circumstances, you shift the atmosphere. Paul and Silas understood this truth. Imprisoned for preaching the gospel, they could have succumbed to despair. Instead, they prayed and sang hymns to God. Acts 16:25-26 recounts what happened next. About midnight, Paul and Silas were praying and singing hymns to God, and the other prisoners were listening to them. Suddenly there was such a violent earthquake that the foundations of the prison were shaken. At once all the prison doors flew open, and everyone's chains came loose. Their praise not only brought deliverance for themselves, but also for those around them. In your darkest moments, praise becomes a declaration of your trust in God's sovereignty. It signals to the spiritual realm that your faith is unshakable, that you believe in God's power to intervene. This kind of faith pleases God and invites His presence into your situation. Psalm 22:3 tells us, "But you are holy, enthroned in the praises of Israel." When you worship, you create an environment where God's presence dwells, and where His presence is, there is freedom. Freedom in Christ does not mean an absence of struggles. It means those struggles no longer define or confine you. Jesus Himself assured us in John 16:33, "I have told you these things so that in me you may have peace. In this world you will have trouble. But take heart, I have overcome the world." Your peace comes from knowing that the ultimate victory has already been won. Every battle you face has an end point, and on the other side of it, you will find that God's grace has carried you through. The grace of God is a sustaining force that empowers you to endure. It is not merely a covering for your sins, but an enabling power that helps you rise above life's challenges. 2 Corinthians 9:8 affirms this, and God is able to bless you abundantly, so that in all things at all times, having all that you need, you will abound in every good work. His grace is sufficient for every moment, every season, and every trial. It strengthens you when you feel weak, lifts you when you feel low, and carries you when you feel like you can't go on. One of the most profound expressions of God's grace is His ability to restore. Whatever the enemy has stolen, whatever life has stripped away, God is more than capable of restoring it in ways that exceed your expectations. Joel 2:25-26 offers this promise: I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten, the great locust, and the young locust, the other locusts, and the locust swarm, my great army that I sent among you. You will have plenty to eat until you are full. And you will praise the name of the Lord your God, who has worked wonders for you. Never again will my people be shamed. This restoration is not limited to material possessions. It encompasses joy, peace, and purpose. Restoration often begins in the heart. Before God changes your circumstances, He transforms your inner being, aligning your heart with His will. This transformation requires surrender, a willingness to let go of your plans and embrace His. Proverbs 16:9 reminds us, in their hearts humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Surrendering to God's plan is not a loss but a gain, for His plans are always for your good. Jeremiah 29:11 declares, For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. As you journey through life, there will be moments when you feel overwhelmed, moments when you question whether you have the strength to continue. In those moments, remember that you are never alone. Deuteronomy 31:6 offers this assurance: be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified because of them, for the Lord your God goes with you. He will never leave you nor forsake you. God's presence is a constant source of comfort and strength. He walks with you through every valley and stands with you on every mountaintop. Your relationship with God is your greatest source of strength. It is in the quiet moments of prayer and reflection that you draw near to Him, finding solace in His presence. James 4:8 encourages us, come near to God and He will come near to you. This intimacy with God is where your faith is fortified and your spirit renewed. In His presence you find the courage to face each day with confidence, knowing that He is your refuge and fortress. God's faithfulness is unchanging, His love unfailing, and His power unmatched. When you trust Him with your struggles, you are placing them in the hands of the one who holds the universe together. Colossians 1:17 proclaims, He is before all things, and in Him all things hold together. No matter how chaotic life may seem, God remains in control, working all things together for your good and His glory. When you entrust your struggles to God, you step into a divine partnership where His strength compensates for your weaknesses. This relationship is not passive, it requires active faith, a faith that moves mountains, even when all you see are valleys. It's the kind of faith that propelled David, a young shepherd, to face Goliath. By human standards, David had no chance, yet his confidence was rooted not in his own ability, but in God's power. As he declared in 1 Samuel 17:45, You come against me with sword and spear and javelin, but I come against you in the name of the Lord Almighty, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. David understood that the battle was not his to fight alone, and because of that trust, victory was inevitable. This same God who delivered David is at work in your life. He does not change, and His power is not diminished. Hebrews 13:8 assures us, Jesus Christ is the same yesterday and today and forever. His consistency is the foundation upon which your faith can stand firm, even when the storms of life threaten to shake you. These storms are not designed to destroy you, rather, they refine you, strengthening your character and deepening your reliance on Him. Isaiah 43:2 reminds us of His unwavering presence. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and when you pass through the rivers, they will not sweep over you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned, the flames will not set you ablaze. Each trial you face is an opportunity to witness God's faithfulness firsthand. It's in the moments of greatest need that His provision becomes most evident. Consider the Israelites wandering in the wilderness, a place of desolation and uncertainty. Yet even there, God provided manna from heaven, water from a rock, and a pillar of cloud and fire to guide them. Exodus 16:35 records, the Israelites ate manna 40 years. Until they came to a land that was settled, they ate manna, until they reached the border of Canaan. What appeared to be a barren wasteland became a stage for God's miraculous sustenance. God's provision is not limited to physical needs. He also provides peace, the kind that surpasses all understanding. Philippians 4:6-7 encourages us, do not be anxious about anything, but in every situation, by prayer and petition, with thanksgiving, present your requests to God. And the peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Christ Jesus. This peace is a gift, a reminder that God is in control, even when circumstances seem overwhelming. It guards your heart against despair and your mind against doubt, keeping you anchored in His truth. Trusting God requires surrendering your need for control. It means letting go of your limited perspective and embracing His infinite wisdom. Proverbs 3:5-6 instructs, trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. This trust is not blind but rooted in the knowledge of who God is, His character, His promises, and His unchanging nature. When you acknowledge Him in all your ways, you open the door for Him to direct your steps, leading you on a path of purpose and fulfillment. Walking this path often involves stepping out in faith, even when the way forward is unclear. Abraham exemplified this kind of obedience when God called him to leave his homeland and go to a place he had never seen. Hebrews 11:8 highlights his faith by faith Abraham. When called to go to a place he would later receive as his inheritance, obeyed and went. Even though he did not know where he was going, Abraham's journey was marked by uncertainties, but his trust in God's promises never wavered. As a result, he became the father of many nations, a testament to what God can accomplish through a life fully surrendered to Him. Your own journey may be filled with unknowns, but like Abraham, you can trust that God's promises will be fulfilled in His perfect time. 2 Peter 3:9 reassures us, the Lord is not slow in keeping His promise, as some understand slowness. Instead, He is patient with you, not wanting anyone to perish, but everyone to come to repentance. His timing is a reflection of His patience and His desire for your growth and alignment with His will. Every season of waiting is an opportunity to develop perseverance, a fruit of the Spirit that equips you to endure and thrive in the face of challenges. Perseverance is not born in comfort, but in the crucible of trials. James 1:2-4 emphasizes the value of enduring hardship. Consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you face trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. Let perseverance finish its work so that you may be mature and complete. Not lacking anything, each test you encounter is a step towards spiritual maturity, shaping you into the person God created you to be. This process is not without pain, but the growth it produces is invaluable. God's ultimate goal is not merely to deliver you from struggles, but to transform you through them. Romans 8:28-29 declares, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son. Your trials are the tools God uses to mold you into the likeness of Christ, refining your character and deepening your relationship with Him. This transformation is the essence of your spiritual journey, a journey that leads to eternal glory. Even as you navigate life's challenges, God's grace sustains you. His grace is not a one-time gift, but an ongoing provision that meets you at every point of need. Paul experienced this firsthand when he faced a persistent struggle, often referred to as his thorn in the flesh. Despite his repeated pleas for relief, God's response was clear, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness, 2 Corinthians 12:9. This declaration shifted Paul's perspective, allowing him to embrace his weaknesses as opportunities for God's power to be revealed. The same grace that sustained Paul is available to you. It empowers you to rise above your limitations and walk in victory, even when circumstances remain unchanged. This grace is a reflection of God's unmerited favor, a reminder that His love for you is not based on your performance but on His nature. Ephesians 2:8-9 proclaims, "For it is by grace you have been saved, through faith, and this is not from yourselves, it is the gift of God, not by works, so that no one can boast." This salvation is the foundation of your relationship with God, a relationship that carries you through every season of life. As you continue to trust in God, you will witness His faithfulness in ways that deepen your awe and strengthen your faith. He is not a distant observer but an active participant in your life, intricately involved in every detail. Psalm 37:23-24 declares, "The Lord makes firm the steps of the one who delights in Him. Though he may stumble, he will not fall, for the Lord upholds him with His hand." This assurance reminds you that even when you falter, God's hand is there to steady you, guiding you back to the path of His purpose. In moments of uncertainty, lean into His promises. They are a firm foundation, a source of unshakable hope. Isaiah 40:31 offers this encouragement, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles, they will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This renewed strength enables you to persevere, to keep moving forward with the confidence that God is working on your behalf. Through every trial, every triumph, and every season in between, God remains faithful. His plans for your life are good, and His love for you is everlasting. Trust in Him, for He is the one who can turn your struggles into testimonies, your pain into purpose, and your trials into triumphs. In the end, everything you face in life, every struggle, every victory, every moment of doubt or fear has a purpose in God's divine plan. His love for you is unfailing, and His strength is limitless. When you surrender your burdens and place them in His hands, you align yourself with His perfect will. Remember, the battles you face are not yours alone, they belong to the Lord. Trust His timing, lean on His promises, and allow His grace to sustain you. No matter how daunting your struggles may seem, know that God is bigger, and in Him you are more than a conqueror. So walk forward in faith, assured that He is leading you toward a life of victory, peace, and eternal purpose. Today is not just another day, it's a divine invitation for a fresh start, a chance to rebuild your life with determination and purpose. Maybe you faced setbacks that left you feeling lost, defeated, or stuck. But let me remind you, you are not your past, you are your potential. Every sunrise brings with it a quiet yet profound reminder, the opportunity to begin anew. This simple truth holds immense power if only we take the time to recognize and embrace it. Life, with all its twists and turns, offers no guarantees that everything will go as planned. Yet it gives us something even more valuable, the chance to start over, to rebuild, and to redefine ourselves every single day. This is not just an abstract idea, but a deeply transformative principle that can reshape the way we live our lives. Often the weight of past mistakes, missed opportunities, and unfulfilled dreams can feel like an anchor, holding us back from moving forward. It's easy to let yesterday's regrets overshadow today's possibilities. But when you truly understand the power of a new beginning, you realize that the past is a chapter that has already been written. It does not have to dictate the narrative of your future. The pages ahead are blank, waiting for you to decide what story you will tell. A new beginning is not merely about wiping the slate clean, it is about recognizing your ability to rewrite the script. Life is not static, it is ever evolving, and so are you. The person you were yesterday, with all your flaws and missteps, does not define the person you can become today. This realization is liberating. It shifts your focus from what was to what can be, filling you with hope and purpose. Starting over requires courage. It takes strength to face the reality of where you are and to acknowledge that change is necessary. This honesty with yourself is the first step toward transformation. It's not about denying your past or pretending that challenges don't exist. Instead, it's about facing them head on and choosing to move forward despite them. Each new beginning is an act of bravery, a declaration that you refuse to be confined by your circumstances or defined by your failures. Change often feels daunting because it pushes us out of our comfort zones. The unknown can be intimidating, and the prospect of starting over might seem overwhelming. Yet, the discomfort of change is a small price to pay for the growth and possibilities it brings. Imagine a seed buried in the soil. In its darkness, it begins to transform, breaking through its shell and reaching toward the light. The process is neither easy nor instantaneous, but it is necessary for the seed to grow into its full potential. Similarly, a new beginning might challenge you, but it also nurtures your growth. The power of a new beginning lies in its ability to shift your perspective. It allows you to see your setbacks not as permanent failures, but as opportunities to learn and improve. Each ending, no matter how painful, carries within it the seeds of a new start. When a door closes, it's not the end of the road, it's an invitation to look for a window or even to build a new door. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones and failures into lessons. Sometimes the hardest part of starting over is forgiving yourself. We often carry the weight of self-judgment, replaying our mistakes and berating ourselves for not knowing better. But forgiveness is a crucial part of the process. To embrace a new beginning, you must first let go of the past. This doesn't mean forgetting what happened or dismissing its impact. It means releasing the hold it has over you so that you can move forward unburdened. Forgiveness is not about condoning what went wrong, it's about giving yourself the grace to grow from it. A new beginning also requires clarity. To rebuild your life, you must first envision what you want it to look like. Take time to reflect on your goals, values, and passions. What kind of life do you want to create? What kind of person do you aspire to be? Clarity gives you direction and purpose, turning your new beginning into a deliberate and intentional journey. Without a clear vision, you risk wandering aimlessly, unsure of where you're headed or why. Once you have clarity, it's time to take action. A new beginning is not just a thought or a feeling, it's a series of choices and actions that bring your vision to life. Start small. Each step, no matter how tiny, brings you closer to your goals. Progress might be slow at first, but consistency is key. Over time, those small steps add up to significant changes. The power of a new beginning lies not in its grandness, but in its potential to grow into something extraordinary through persistence and effort. It's important to remember that a new beginning is not a one-time event. Life is full of cycles, and you will encounter many opportunities to start over. Some may be prompted by external circumstances, a job loss, a relationship ending, or a move to a new city. Others may come from within a desire to break a bad habit, to pursue a dream, or to change your mindset. Regardless of the source, each new beginning is a chance to align your life more closely with your values and aspirations. As you embrace a new beginning, be patient with yourself. Transformation takes time, and progress is rarely linear. There will be moments of doubt and difficulty, but these are not signs of failure. They are part of the process. Trust that with each step forward, you are growing stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and remind yourself that every effort brings you closer to your goals. Surrounding yourself with positivity can also strengthen your resolve. Seek out people who support and encourage your growth. Distance yourself from negativity, whether it comes from others or from your own inner critic. Fill your mind with inspiring thoughts, uplifting stories, and empowering beliefs. The environment you create for yourself can either fuel your progress or hinder it, so choose wisely. Above all, recognize that a new beginning is a gift. It is an opportunity to reclaim your power, to take control of your life, and to create something meaningful. No matter how difficult your past has been, no matter how many times you've stumbled, you have the strength to rise again. Every moment holds the potential for transformation. All you have to do is decide to seize it. The power of a new beginning lies in its ability to awaken hope, ignite determination, and inspire change. It is a reminder that you are never truly stuck, that no matter where you are, you have the ability to move forward. So take a deep breath, let go of what no longer serves you, and step boldly into the future. The best version of your life is waiting for you to create it. Life is a series of choices, and whether we like it or not, the outcomes we face today are deeply intertwined with the decisions we've made in the past. Taking responsibility for where you are is not about assigning blame or dwelling on regrets. It's about stepping into your power and owning your story. It's a recognition that while life may throw challenges and circumstances beyond your control, how you respond to them is entirely within your hands. The first step in taking responsibility is to stop playing the blame game. It's easy to point fingers at others, parents, society, friends, or circumstances for the things that went wrong. While external factors do influence our lives, focusing solely on them robs us of agency. Blame shifts the power from you to something or someone else, leaving you feeling helpless and stuck. When you take responsibility, you reclaim that power. You stop saying, "This happened to me," and start asking, "What can I do about it now?" This mindset shift requires humility and honesty. It means looking at your life and admitting where you might have made mistakes, where you could have acted differently, and where you fell short. This level of self-awareness can be uncomfortable, even painful, but it is also incredibly freeing. Accepting responsibility is not about beating yourself up. It's about acknowledging reality so that you can move forward with clarity and purpose. Taking responsibility also means accepting that your current circumstances are not the end of your story. They are merely a chapter, a reflection of past actions, habits, and choices. This is not a judgment of your worth or potential, but rather an invitation to change. If you don't like where you are, you have the power to choose differently. Your past does not define you, but your present decisions shape your future. Responsibility comes with a sense of empowerment. It allows you to take control of your narrative and realize that you are not a victim of life but an active participant in its unfolding. For instance, if you are unhappy in your job, you can take steps to improve your skills, seek new opportunities, or even change careers. If relationships in your life are strained, you can evaluate your role in the conflicts and take steps toward reconciliation or setting healthy boundaries. This proactive approach shifts your focus from what you can't control to what you can. A significant part of taking responsibility is embracing the power of choice. Every day you make decisions, some big, some small, that influence the trajectory of your life. When you take responsibility, you become more intentional about these choices. You pause to consider, does this align with my values and goals? Is this bringing me closer to the life I want to live? This level of intentionality ensures that you're not just reacting to life, but actively shaping it. Responsibility is not synonymous with perfection. It's important to recognize that everyone makes mistakes, faces setbacks, and encounters failures. Taking responsibility doesn't mean you'll never falter. It means that when you do, you own it. You learn from the experience, make amends if necessary, and use it as a stepping stone for growth. Each mistake becomes a valuable lesson rather than a source of shame. There is immense strength in admitting when you are wrong. It takes courage to say, "I messed up," but in doing so, you open the door to growth and understanding. Blaming others or denying your role in a situation might provide temporary comfort, but it ultimately stunts your progress. True growth comes from looking inward, understanding your role, and making a conscious effort to do better. Responsibility also extends to how you manage your emotions and reactions. While you can't always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. Anger, frustration, and sadness are natural human emotions, but letting them dictate your actions can lead to destructive outcomes. Taking responsibility means pausing in moments of emotional turmoil, reflecting on your feelings, and choosing a response that aligns with your values and goals. It's about mastering your emotions rather than being mastered by them. One of the most empowering aspects of taking responsibility is realizing that it allows you to break free from limiting beliefs. Many of us carry narratives like, "I'm not good enough, I always fail," or "this is just the way things are." These beliefs can become self-fulfilling prophecies if left unchecked. But when you take responsibility, you challenge these narratives. You begin to see that your limitations are not fixed. They are often perceptions that can be changed through effort and determination. Taking responsibility also means celebrating your wins. It's not just about owning your mistakes, but also acknowledging your achievements and the hard work that led to them. When you take responsibility for your successes, you build confidence in your ability to shape your life. This confidence becomes a driving force, propelling you toward greater accomplishments. Surrounding yourself with accountability is another key element of responsibility. Sometimes it's helpful to have mentors, friends, or coaches who can offer guidance and keep you on track. Accountability doesn't mean relinquishing control, it means seeking support and perspective as you navigate your journey. It's a reminder that while you are responsible for your life, you don't have to do it alone. Taking responsibility is a daily practice. It's about consistently choosing to take ownership of your actions, thoughts, and decisions. It's about waking up each morning and asking, what can I do today to move closer to the life I want to live? It's not always easy, but it is always worth it. When you take responsibility, you stop being a passenger in your life and take the wheel. You steer with intention, purpose, and the knowledge that you have the power to create the future you desire. This journey requires patience, self-compassion, and resilience. There will be days when you stumble, moments when progress feels slow, and times when the weight of responsibility feels heavy. But remember, with each step forward, you are building a life that reflects your values, dreams, and potential. Responsibility is not a burden, it's a privilege. It's the key to unlocking your full potential and living a life of authenticity and fulfillment. Life often has a way of dulling our once vivid dreams and aspirations. The weight of responsibilities, the sting of failures, and the uncertainty of the future can all conspire to dim the fire that once burned brightly within us. But here's a truth that must never be forgotten: your vision, no matter how faded it may seem, still holds the potential to transform your life. To reignite your vision is to reclaim your sense of purpose, direction, and passion. It's an act of courage and renewal that sets you back on the path to fulfillment. Your vision is more than just a fleeting hope or a distant goal. It is the blueprint of the life you were meant to create. It is deeply rooted in your unique talents, values, and desires. When your vision is clear and alive, it serves as a guiding light, pulling you forward even in the face of challenges. But when that vision becomes clouded or neglected, life can feel directionless, as though you're wandering through a fog. To reignite your vision, you must first reconnect with your why. Why did this vision matter to you in the first place? What drew you to it, and how does it align with who you are? These questions are powerful because they help you strip away distractions and rediscover the essence of your dream. Your why is the fuel that keeps your vision alive, even when the journey gets tough. Often we lose sight of our vision because we become overly focused on the obstacles in our path. Failures, setbacks, and disappointments can cloud our perspective, making the dream seem impossible. But failure is not the opposite of success, it is a part of it. Each setback carries valuable lessons, and every closed door points you toward a new opportunity. Reigniting your vision means shifting your focus from what went wrong to what is still possible. It means embracing a mindset of resilience and growth, understanding that the path to your dreams is rarely a straight line. Visualization is a powerful tool for reigniting your vision. Close your eyes and imagine, in vivid detail, what achieving your vision looks and feels like. Picture the joy, the sense of accomplishment, and the impact it will have on your life and the lives of others. This practice doesn't just inspire, it clarifies. It helps you see beyond the noise and distractions, reminding you of what truly matters. Visualization turns your vision from an abstract idea into a tangible reality waiting to unfold. Sometimes reigniting your vision requires letting go of limiting beliefs. These are the thoughts that whisper, "You're not good enough, it's too late," or "You don't have what it takes." These beliefs are not truths, they are barriers that keep you from stepping into your potential. To reignite your vision, challenge these thoughts and replace them with empowering affirmations. Remind yourself, "I am capable, I am worthy, and it's never too late to start." Your environment plays a crucial role in keeping your vision alive. Surround yourself with people who support and inspire you, those who believe in your potential and encourage your growth. Distance yourself from negativity and doubt, whether it comes from others or from within. Create a space that fosters creativity, focus and motivation, a space where your vision can thrive. Action is the spark that turns vision into reality. No matter how small the steps may seem, taking consistent action toward your vision reignites your passion and builds momentum. Start by setting achievable goals that align with your larger vision. Celebrate each milestone, no matter how minor, as a testament to your progress. Each step forward reaffirms your commitment and brings your vision closer to fruition. Reigniting your vision also requires patience and persistence. The journey may be long and progress may sometimes feel slow, but each moment is an opportunity to grow stronger and wiser. Trust the process and remain steadfast in your pursuit. Your vision is worth the effort, and the person you become along the way is just as important as the dream itself. Reigniting your vision is about reconnecting with your sense of possibility. Remember that the world is full of opportunities, and your potential is limitless. When you dare to dream again, when you choose to believe in your vision, you open the door to a future filled with purpose, passion, and fulfillment. Your vision is waiting for you. It's time to reignite the fire within and step boldly into the life you were meant to live. Discipline and daily habits are the building blocks of a purposeful and fulfilling life. They are the quiet forces working behind the scenes, shaping your character and paving the way toward your goals. While passion and ambition ignite the initial spark, it is discipline that keeps the flame alive. Embracing discipline and committing to daily habits is a declaration that your vision is worth the effort, the consistency, and even the sacrifices required to bring it to life. Discipline is not about harshness or rigidity, it is about self-respect and prioritizing what truly matters. When you choose discipline, you tell yourself that your dreams, goals, and growth are important enough to deserve your time and energy. It's a mindset that recognizes the connection between the small actions you take today and the bigger outcomes you desire for tomorrow. Every step forward, no matter how small, is an investment in your future self. One of the greatest truths about discipline is that it thrives on routine. Establishing daily habits creates a structure that makes it easier to stay consistent. When habits are in place, you reduce the need for constant decision-making and willpower. Instead of asking yourself whether you should exercise, write, or work on a project, you simply follow the routine you've built. Habits eliminate the friction that often comes with starting something new. Over time, these repeated actions compound into meaningful progress. To embrace discipline, start by defining your priorities. What are the key areas of your life that you want to improve or maintain? Is it your health, career, relationships, or personal growth? Once you've identified these areas, break them down into specific, actionable steps that can be incorporated into your daily life. Discipline isn't about overhauling everything at once, it's about starting small and building momentum. For instance, if your goal is to improve your physical health, begin with simple habits like drinking more water, going for a daily walk, or preparing healthier meals. If your focus is on personal development, commit to reading a few pages of a book each day or journaling for 10 minutes. These small actions may seem insignificant in the moment, but their cumulative effect over time is transformative. Discipline often requires you to push through discomfort. There will be days when you don't feel like showing up, when the allure of procrastination or convenience tempts you to stray from your path. But discipline means choosing your long-term goals over temporary satisfaction. It means reminding yourself why you started in the first place and taking action even when motivation wanes. Motivation is fleeting, but discipline endures. Daily habits also serve as a reflection of your values. They demonstrate what you're committed to and what you prioritize in your life. When you consistently show up for your habits, you build a sense of trust and integrity within yourself. You prove to yourself that you are capable of following through, even when it's challenging. This self-trust is a powerful foundation for growth and achievement. Discipline doesn't mean perfection. There will be times when you stumble, miss a day, or make a mistake. What matters is how you respond in those moments. Instead of allowing a misstep to derail your progress, view it as a learning opportunity. Reflect on what went wrong, adjust your approach if needed, and get back on track. The key to discipline is not avoiding failure, it's mastering the art of recovery. Accountability can also strengthen your discipline. Share your goals and habits with someone you trust, whether it's a friend, mentor, or coach. Having someone to check in with can provide motivation, encouragement, and perspective. Accountability creates a sense of responsibility, making it more likely that you'll stick to your commitments. Another crucial aspect of embracing discipline is celebrating your wins. Acknowledge the effort you're putting in and the progress you're making, no matter how small. Celebrating milestones reinforces positive behavior and keeps you motivated to continue. Discipline doesn't have to be all work, and no joy, it can also be deeply rewarding and fulfilling. Discipline and daily habits are not just about achieving external goals, they are about becoming the person you aspire to be. Every time you honor your commitments and follow through on your habits, you are shaping your identity. You are proving to yourself that you are someone who takes action, who perseveres, and who values growth. This identity shift is what makes discipline so powerful it transforms you from the inside out. Discipline is an act of self-love. It's a commitment to doing what's best for you, even when it's not the easiest or most comfortable option. It's about showing up for yourself every day, no matter what challenges arise. When you embrace discipline and build daily habits, you create a life of intention, purpose, and progress. You set yourself on a path toward the dreams and aspirations that truly matter to you. And with each step forward, you become not just a doer, but a creator of your own destiny. Setbacks and failures are an inevitable part of life, but they are also some of its greatest teachers. Though they may feel painful and discouraging in the moment, they hold the power to refine, strengthen, and guide you toward greater success. To learn from setbacks and failures is to transform them from obstacles into stepping stones, propelling you forward with new insight and resilience. Failure often carries a stigma, as though it's something to be avoided or feared. But the truth is, failure is not a reflection of your worth, it's a natural byproduct of striving for growth and pursuing meaningful goals. It is proof that you are pushing beyond your comfort zone and daring to reach for something greater. To fail means you are actively engaging with life, taking risks, and refusing to settle for mediocrity. When setbacks occur, the first step is to shift your perspective. Instead of viewing failure as an end, see it as a beginning and opportunity to learn and improve. Every failure carries valuable lessons, but those lessons can only be uncovered if you take the time to reflect. Ask yourself, what went wrong? What could I have done differently? And what can I take away from this experience to make my next attempt better? These questions help you move from frustration to curiosity, transforming the experience into a source of wisdom. One of the most important lessons setbacks teach is the importance of adaptability. Life rarely unfolds exactly as planned, and setbacks force you to confront this reality. They challenge you to be flexible, to think creatively, and to find new approaches to your goals. This adaptability not only helps you overcome the immediate obstacle, but also prepares you to navigate future challenges with confidence. Failures also reveal your areas of weakness, places where growth is needed. While this may feel uncomfortable, it's an essential part of self-improvement. For example, if a project fails because of poor time management, it's an opportunity to develop better planning skills. If a relationship falters because of communication issues, it's a chance to learn how to express yourself more effectively. Every setback shines a light on the skills and qualities you need to cultivate, guiding you toward becoming a stronger and more capable version of yourself. It's crucial to recognize that failure is never permanent unless you allow it to be. Some of the most successful people in history have experienced significant failures before achieving greatness. Thomas Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Highlighting the persistence required to turn failure into eventual success. These stories remind us that setbacks are not the end of the road, they are simply a detour. Resilience is another critical trait developed through setbacks. Each time you recover from failure, you build your mental and emotional strength. You prove to yourself that you can endure difficulty and emerge stronger on the other side. Resilience is like a muscle, it grows with use. The more you face challenges and bounce back, the more equipped you become to handle whatever life throws your way. Learning from failure also requires self-compassion. It's easy to be harsh on yourself when things go wrong, but beating yourself up only deepens the pain and hinders growth. Instead, treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Acknowledge the effort you put in, even if the outcome wasn't what you hoped for. Remind yourself that everyone fails and that it's a natural part of the journey. When you approach failure with self-compassion, you create a safe space for learning and healing. Another powerful way to learn from setbacks is to seek feedback from others. Sometimes we are too close to a situation to see it clearly, and an outside perspective can provide valuable insights. Whether it's a mentor, colleague, or trusted friend, asking for honest feedback can help you identify blind spots and discover new strategies for improvement. Failures also teach you to appreciate progress over perfection. Often we set ourselves up for disappointment by expecting flawless outcomes. But growth is rarely a straight line, it's a series of ups and downs, successes and failures. By focusing on progress, on the ways you are improving and moving forward, you can find motivation and encouragement even in the midst of setbacks. One of the most profound lessons failures offer is the importance of perseverance. Setbacks test your commitment to your goals, challenging you to decide whether to give up or press on. When you choose to persevere, you demonstrate to yourself and others that your dreams are worth fighting for. Each time you rise after a fall, you build a legacy of determination that inspires not only yourself but also those around you. Setbacks remind you of the importance of gratitude. When things don't go as planned, it's easy to focus on what's lacking or lost. But even in failure, there is always something to be grateful for: the effort you made, the lessons you learned, the support you received, or the opportunity to try again. Gratitude shifts your focus from what went wrong to what is still right, fostering a sense of hope and possibility. Setbacks and failures are not barriers to success, they are integral parts of the journey. They shape your character, deepen your wisdom, and prepare you for greater achievements. By embracing failure as a teacher and learning from its lessons, you equip yourself with the tools to overcome future challenges and reach your highest potential. The environment you create around yourself plays a significant role in shaping your mindset, behavior, and overall outlook on life. Surrounding yourself with positivity is not just a motivational cliche, it is a crucial step toward building a life that reflects hope, resilience, and progress. The people, thoughts, and energy you allow into your life have a profound impact on your emotional well-being, mental clarity, and the actions you take to pursue your goals. Choosing positivity is not about ignoring challenges or avoiding reality. It is about fostering an atmosphere that supports growth, encouragement, and possibility. Positivity begins with the company you keep. Relationships influence you more than you might realize, and the attitudes and energies of those around you can either lift you up or weigh you down. Spending time with people who believe in you, encourage your dreams, and share your values can inspire you to reach higher. These individuals act as a mirror, reflecting the best in you and reminding you of your potential when you might doubt yourself. They challenge you to think bigger, push harder, and remain hopeful in the face of adversity. On the other hand, negative influences can drain your energy and stifle your growth. Toxic relationships, constant criticism, or being surrounded by individuals who perpetually focus on problems instead of solutions can erode your self-esteem and confidence. While it's not always possible to avoid every negative person in your life, you can choose how much access they have to your energy and emotions. Setting healthy boundaries is an act of self-care that ensures you're protecting your peace and prioritizing your well-being. Cultivating positivity extends beyond relationships. It also involves the media, information, and entertainment you consume. In a world where news cycles often focus on conflict and crisis, it's easy to become overwhelmed by negativity. While staying informed is important, overexposure to distressing content can lead to anxiety, hopelessness, and a skewed perception of reality. Make a conscious effort to balance your intake of news with uplifting stories, motivational content, and resources that empower you. Choose books, podcasts, or videos that align with your values and inspire growth. Your mental diet is just as important as the food you consume, and what you feed your mind shapes your thoughts, attitudes, and actions. Creating a positive environment also involves cultivating a space that nurtures your soul. Your surroundings, whether at home, work, or elsewhere, should reflect the energy you wish to embody. A clean, organized, and inspiring physical space can have a surprising impact on your mood and productivity. Add elements that bring joy, such as photos of loved ones, artwork that speaks to you, or reminders of your goals. Surround yourself with items that make you feel grounded and focused, and let go of clutter that no longer serves a purpose. A peaceful, intentional environment can act as a sanctuary, allowing you to recharge and approach each day with clarity and motivation. Your self-talk plays an equally important role in cultivating positivity. The way you speak to yourself shapes your beliefs and behaviors. Negative self-talk, such as doubting your abilities, criticizing your appearance, or belittling your efforts, can create mental barriers that prevent you from moving forward. Replacing these thoughts with affirmations and compassionate language shifts your inner dialogue toward growth and self-empowerment. When challenges arise, instead of telling yourself, "I can't do this," remind yourself, "This is tough, but I am capable." Over time, these positive affirmations become a natural part of your mindset, helping you to overcome obstacles with greater resilience. Gratitude is another cornerstone of a positive outlook. Taking the time to acknowledge and appreciate the blessings in your life shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude fosters a sense of contentment and optimism, reminding you of the good that exists even amid difficulties. Start by reflecting on small things, a kind word from a friend, the beauty of nature, or an opportunity to learn something new. Writing these moments down in a gratitude journal can be a powerful practice that reinforces positive thinking. Gratitude doesn't erase challenges, but it provides a balanced perspective that empowers you to face them with courage and hope. Fostering positivity also means taking control of your time and energy. Be intentional about where you direct your focus and prioritize activities that bring you joy, fulfillment, or a sense of accomplishment. Engaging in hobbies, spending time in nature, or practicing mindfulness can replenish your energy and enhance your overall outlook. Surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean every moment must be perfect or productive. It's about creating balance and allowing yourself to recharge. Support systems are vital in maintaining positivity, especially during difficult times. When life feels overwhelming, leaning on people who uplift you can make all the difference. Whether it's a trusted friend, family member, or mentor, having someone to talk to can provide perspective, comfort, and encouragement. Similarly, being a source of positivity for others creates a reciprocal cycle of support. Offering kindness, listening without judgment, or celebrating someone else's achievements strengthens relationships and fosters a sense of connection. It's important to acknowledge that surrounding yourself with positivity is not about avoiding negative emotions or pretending that everything is fine. Life is full of ups and downs, and experiencing a range of emotions is natural and healthy. Positivity is about cultivating resilience, the ability to face difficulties with a mindset that seeks solutions and opportunities for growth. It's about choosing to focus on what you can control and finding meaning in your experiences, even when they are challenging. Positivity is also a choice that requires consistent effort. It's easy to default to negative patterns, especially when faced with stress, setbacks, or uncertainty. But by making positivity a daily practice, you create habits that sustain you over the long term. Start each day with intention, whether through meditation, prayer, or setting an uplifting goal. End each day with reflection, acknowledging what went well and what you've learned. These small, intentional actions build a foundation of positivity that grows stronger over time. Remember that surrounding yourself with positivity doesn't mean isolating yourself from the realities of the world. It's about equipping yourself with the mindset and tools to navigate those realities effectively. By fostering a positive environment, you give yourself the strength to tackle challenges, the perspective to see opportunities, and the inspiration to keep moving forward. Positivity isn't just a state of mind, it's a way of life that transforms how you experience the world and how the world responds to you. Surrounding yourself with positivity is a transformative decision that empowers you to navigate life with resilience, hope, and clarity. It is not about ignoring challenges or painting over difficulties with false optimism, but about intentionally curating an environment, both internal and external, that nurtures growth and well-being. The energy you surround yourself with profoundly influences your thoughts, emotions, and actions, shaping the trajectory of your life in significant ways. Positivity begins with the relationships you cultivate. The people you allow into your life can either uplift or drain you, and their influence is more profound than it may initially appear. By choosing to spend time with those who believe in you, encourage your aspirations, and inspire you to become the best version of yourself, you create a network of support that becomes invaluable during both triumphs and trials. Conversely, limiting the influence of negativity, whether through toxic relationships or critical environments, ensures that your energy remains focused on what truly matters. Equally important is the information and media you consume. In an age where negativity can easily dominate your mental space, it's essential to make conscious choices about what you allow into your mind. Consuming content that inspires, educates, and uplifts can shift your mindset from defeat to determination, enabling you to see possibilities where others might only see obstacles. Remember, your mental diet is as crucial as the food you eat. It determines the quality of your thoughts and ultimately your life. Your physical environment also plays a significant role in fostering positivity. By creating spaces that are clean, organized, and filled with items that bring you joy and inspiration, you establish a sanctuary where you can recharge and reflect. Whether it's a favorite photo, a vision board, or a peaceful corner for meditation, these small but meaningful touches remind you of your goals and the beauty in everyday moments. Perhaps most importantly, surrounding yourself with positivity requires turning inward and cultivating a mindset that embraces self-compassion, gratitude, and growth. Positive self-talk is a powerful tool that can replace limiting beliefs with affirming ones, allowing you to approach challenges with courage and resilience. Gratitude, on the other hand, shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, reinforcing a sense of contentment and hope even in the face of adversity. Life is inherently unpredictable, and setbacks are inevitable, but surrounding yourself with positivity equips you to face these moments with strength and purpose. It fosters a sense of resilience that transforms obstacles into opportunities for growth and lessons into stepping stones for success. It reminds you that while you may not control every situation, you can always control how you respond. Surrounding yourself with positivity is a daily practice, a conscious choice to focus on what uplifts and empowers you. It's about creating a life where you are not just surviving but thriving, where your environment aligns with your aspirations, and where your mindset reflects the endless possibilities ahead. By embracing positivity, you set the stage for a life filled with purpose, joy, and profound fulfillment.